Hello, very good morning, friends. So today I'm going to start that chapter I yesterday unfinished, chapter number 4. First, I will continue the podcast. Yesterday I made that podcast. Now I'm going to listen it. Okay, together we will listen and enjoy the. Okay, summarize all the lesson that we have learned yesterday. Okay, fine. Make the screen large. Now I'm going to play it.
How do we actually teach a machine learning model to recognize a pattern or make a
I think you can
How do
listen.
we actually
1 minute. Let me also hear it. So, okay, fine. Going to start. How do we
How
actually
do we actually teach a machine learning model to recognize a pattern or make a prediction? That's the core question we're exploring today, delving into the fundamental algorithm.
I think you can listen it and read it carefully. The time is already running. Let me reset it so I can restart it. Okay, 25-minute timer I will take and then I will take break. Okay, and everything is working properly. Sound is working properly. Display is this and fine. Now going to start the reading now.
How do we actually teach a machine learning model to recognize a pattern or make a prediction? That's the core question we're exploring today, delving into the fundamental algorithms that make these systems learn, particularly from Aurélien Giron's hands-on machine learning with Scikit-Learn, Keras, and TensorFlow.
That's right, Clara. We start with the simplest models like linear regression. Essentially, a linear model predicts a value by taking a weighted sum of its input features and adding a constant, which we call a bias term. Think of it like a straight line equation. Y equals A times X plus B, but with many more X's and their corresponding A's, or weights.
So it's about finding the best A's and B's that fit our data points. But how do we define best fit? Is there a specific measure for that?
Precisely. For linear regression, we typically use the mean squared error, or MSE, to measure how far off our predictions are from the actual values. Our goal in training is to find the set of weights and the bias term that minimize this MSE.
And there are two main ways the book introduces to achieve this minimization. The first is what's called the normal equation. What exactly is that and how does it work?
The normal equation is a closed-form solution. This means it's a direct mathematical formula that gives you the optimal parameters, the A's and B's you mentioned, in one go. You don't have to iterate through a process. For example, if we generate some linear-looking data, we can directly plug that data into the normal equation. We use functions from NumPy's linear algebra module to compute the inverse of a matrix and perform matrix multiplication. The result is a vector of parameters that are very close to the true parameters of the function that generated the data, even with some added noise.
That sounds incredibly efficient. No guessing, no trial and error, just a direct answer. So, for a real world scenario, if I have a data set of house prices and features like size and location, I can just use this equation to get the perfect pricing model.
In theory, yes. Scikit-Learn's linear regression class uses a variation of this approach, specifically scipy.lineal.lsstq, which relies on singular value decomposition, or SVD. This method is more robust, especially if the underlying matrix isn't invertible, which can happen with certain data. However, while it's mathematically elegant, there is a catch. It's computational complexity.
Computational complexity. That sounds like a fancy way of saying it might take a long time to calculate for huge data sets. Can you elaborate?
Indeed, calculating the inverse of a matrix as the normal equation requires has a complexity that scales roughly between O of n squared 0.4 to O of n cubed, where n is the number of features. So if you double your number of features, the computation time can increase by 5 to 8 times. SVD, used by Scikit-Learn, is around O of n squared, which is better, but still slow if n is very large, say 100,000 features.
So, for massive data sets with many features, this direct approach becomes impractical. What's the alternative then?
That's where gradient descent comes in. It's a completely different approach. Instead of directly calculating the solution, gradient descent is an iterative optimization algorithm that gradually tweaks the model parameters to minimize the cost function over the training set. Imagine you're blindfolded on a mountain, and your goal is to find the lowest point in the valley. You can only feel the slope directly beneath your feet. Your best strategy is to take small steps downhill always in the steepest direction.
Steepest
That's
direction.
essentially what gradient descent does.
Yeah.
That's a great analogy. So it starts with a random guess for the parameters and then slowly adjusts them. What influences how big those steps are?
The size of those steps is crucial, and it's controlled by a hyperparameter called the learning rate. If the learning rate is too small, the algorithm will take tiny steps and could take an extremely long time to reach the minimum. It's like inching your way down the mountain. But if the learning rate is too high, you might overshoot the minimum entirely or even diverge, climbing higher instead of descending.
Descending. Yeah.
Finding the right learning rate is often critical.
Critical.
And
Yeah.
what about the terrain of this cost function mountain? Is it always a smooth valley or can it have tricky spots?
Unfortunately, it can have tricky spots. There might be local minima, which are like small dips where the algorithm can get stuck thinking it's reached the bottom. There can also be plateaus, which are flat areas where the gradient is almost zero, making progress incredibly slow. However, for a linear regression model with an MSE cost function, the mountain is actually a convex function, meaning it has only one global minimum. So, gradient descent is guaranteed to find that minimum eventually, as long as the learning rate isn't too high.
That's reassuring. Does the shape of this valley change based on our data? Like, can it be stretched out?
Yes, absolutely. If your features have very different scales, the cost function will look like an elongated, stretched out bowl. In such a scenario, gradient descent can zigzag its way down, making very slow progress towards the bottom. This is why it's crucial to ensure that all features are on a similar scale, for instance, by standardizing them. This helps the algorithm converge much faster.
So, gradient descent involves calculating the steepness or gradient of the cost function, then taking a step. How is this gradient calculated specifically for what's called batch gradient descent?
In batch gradient descent, at each step, we compute the gradient of the cost function with respect to every single model parameter. This means calculating how much the cost would change if we slightly altered each parameter. The crucial part is that this calculation involves using the entire training set for each step, hence the batch in its name.
Using the entire training set for every single step sounds computationally intensive, especially for huge datasets. Wouldn't that be slow?
It can be very slow for large training sets. Imagine millions of data points, and you're processing all of them for every single adjustment. However, on the flip side, batch gradient descent scales well with the number of features. If you have hundreds of thousands of features, it can be much faster than the normal equation because it avoids that expensive matrix inversion.
Okay, so a trade-off then. It's slow per step for many training instances, but faster overall for many features. How do we then use this calculated gradient to update the parameters?
Once we have the gradient vector, which points in the direction of the steepest ascent, we move in the opposite direction. We subtract the gradient from our current parameters multiplied by our learning rate.
Yeah.
This is the core update step. We repeat this process over many iterations, or epochs, and with a well-chosen learning rate, our parameters gradually converge to the optimal solution. The number of epochs needed can vary greatly, but it can be set high and the algorithm can be stopped early once the gradient becomes tiny, indicating we're near the minimum.
So batch gradient descent calculates precise steps, but can be slow. Is there a way to make the steps faster, even if they're not as precise?
Yes, that leads us to stochastic gradient descent, or SGD. Instead of using the entire training set to compute gradients at each step, SGD picks just one random instance from the training set. It calculates the gradient based solely on that single instance. This makes each learning step incredibly fast and allows training on datasets that don't even fit in memory, which is fantastic for very large-scale problems.
But if you're only looking at one data point at a time, won't the path down the mountain be much more erratic and noisy?
That's exactly right. The cost function in SGD will bounce up and down, decreasing only on average. It won't smoothly descend to the minimum. It will get very close, but then continue to bounce around it, never truly settling. This randomness can actually be a good thing, though, helping the algorithm jump out of local minima in more complex non-convex cost functions. To help it settle near the minimum, we often use a learning schedule to gradually reduce the learning rate over time.
So SGD is faster per step, but less stable. It sounds like a trade-off between speed and precision. What if we want something in between?
That's where mini-batch gradient descent comes in. It's a hybrid approach. Instead of using the full training set or just one instance, it computes the gradients on small, random sets of instances called mini-batches. This offers a balance. It's less erratic than stochastic GD and often gets a performance boost from hardware optimizations, especially with GPUs, because matrix operations are very efficient on mini-batches.
So mini-batch gradient descent is a sweet spot for many scenarios. It provides a less noisy path than SGD and is significantly faster than batch gradient descent for large datasets, especially when you have hardware acceleration. It seems like gradient descent in its various forms is far more versatile than the direct normal equation.
Hmm.
Absolutely. While the normal equation gives a precise one-shot solution, its computational demands make it unfeasible for many real-world, large-scale problems. Gradient descent, through its iterative nature and variance like mini-batch, becomes the go-to algorithm for training most machine learning models, particularly deep
Deep
neural
neural
networks,
networks,
due to its
scalability,
scalability and ability to handle complex
complex
mountain
mountain
terrains.
terrains.
It's fascinating how these fundamental algorithms lay the groundwork for so much of what we see in machine learning today. Thank you, Sophie, for walking us through these initial steps of training models.
My pleasure, Clara.
If you found this discussion insightful, consider sharing this episode with a friend who's curious about how machines learn.
Definitely. Okay. Share with your friends if you like this postcard. Please share it. Okay. Fine. Fine. Now going to continue the chapter number 4, where I stopped earlier. I will continue from there. Polynomial regression I was doing earlier. Okay, and we'll start from there where it is was. Okay, this starting from polynomial regression. Hope you can listen me. Everything is clear now. Yeah, the voice is coming properly. Fine. Starting polynomial regression, chapter number 4. Okay, this is very important chapter. I'm going training model chapter of a hands-on machine learning book, third edition. Okay, going to start it. Uh, F11. No, fine.
Polynomial regression.
Regression. Yeah.
What if your data is more complex than a straight line? Surprisingly, you can use a linear model to fit nonlinear data. A simple way to do this is to add powers of each feature as new features, then train a linear model on this extended set of features. This technique is called polynomial regression. Let's look at an example. First, we'll generate some nonlinear data based on a simple quadratic equation that's an equation of the form y equal to x2 plus bx plus c plus some noise. np.random.seed. M equal to
The
100x.
same code I will show you here. The polynomial regression I'm going to type. Okay, this is the polynomial regression. I found it. This is the same code even here in the notebook. You can access it to by going the website. It is given in the book. Okay, you can access this code and the same code that you can left side. You can see the notebook, Jupyter notebook, and here is the code and the book. Okay, and the same figure is generated here by writing the code here. Okay, the np.random seed 42, m equal to 100, x is equal to 6 multiplied by np.random m comma 1 minus 3. Okay, and y is equal to 0.5 multiplied by x uh, multiplied power the 2 plus x plus 2 np dot random rand and m comma 1. Okay,
Equal to 6 np.random.rand,
and
3y equal
minus 3.
to 0.5 pex 2 plus x plus 2 plus np.random.rand. Figure
M comma 1.
4-12, generated nonlinear and noisy dataset. Clearly a straight line will never fit this data properly. So let's use Scikit-Learn's polynomial features class to transform our training data, adding the square of each feature in the training set as a new feature. From sclearn.preprocessing, import polynomial features, polyfeatures equal to polynomial features, xpoly equal to polyfeatures. Fit transform.xArray xpolyArray. Xpoly now contains the original feature of x plus the square of this feature. Now we can fit a linear regression model to this extended training data. linreg linear regression linreg.fit linreg.intercept linreg.cof array. Figure 4-13 polynomial regression model predictions. Not bad. The model estimates y equal to 0.56 times plus 0.9, 3 times plus 1.78, when in fact the original function was y equal to 0.5x plus 1 times plus 2 plus Gaussian noise. Note that when there are multiple features, polynomial regression is capable of finding relationships between features, which is something a plain linear regression model cannot do.
Yeah.
This is made possible by the fact that polynomial features also adds all combinations of features up to the given degree. For example, if there were two features A and B, polynomial features with degree 3
3.
would not only add the features A2, A3, B2, and B3, but also the combinations ABA and AB2.
That's
Polynomial features transforms an array containing n features into an
into
array
a
containing
containing.
n features, where n is a factorial of n, equal to 1 times 2 times 3 times n. Beware of the combinatorial explosion of the number of features. Learning curves. If you perform high-degree polynomial regression, you will likely fit the training data much better than with plain linear regression. For example, Figure 4-14 applies a 300-degree polynomial model to the preceding training data and compares the result with a pure linear model and a quadratic model. Notice how the 300-degree polynomial model wiggles around to get as close as possible to the training instances. Figure 4-14. High-degree polynomial regression. This high-degree polynomial regression model is severely overfitting the training data, while the linear model is underfitting it. The model that will generalize best in this case is the quadratic model, which makes sense because the data was generated using a quadratic model. But in general, you won't know what function generated the data, so how can you decide how complex your model should be? How can you tell that your model is overfitting or underfitting the data? In Chapter 2, you use cross-validation to get an estimate of a model's generalization performance. If a model performs well on the training data but generalizes poorly according to the cross-validation metrics, then your model is overfitting. If it performs poorly on both, then it is underfitting.
Underfitting.
This is one way to tell when a model is too simple or too complex. Another way to tell is to look at the learning curves, which are plots of the model's training error and validation error, as a function of the training iteration. Just evaluate the model at regular intervals during training on both the training set and the validation set, and plot the results. If the model cannot be trained incrementally or warm start, then you must train it several times on gradually larger subsets of the training set. Scikit-Learn has a useful learning curve function to help with this. It trains and evaluates the model using cross-validation. By default, it retrains the model on growing subsets of the training set, but if the model supports incremental learning, you can set exploit incremental learning true when calling learning curve, and it will train the model incrementally instead. The function returns the training set sizes at which it evaluated the model, and the training and validation scores it, measured for each size and for each cross-validation fold. Let's use this function to look at the learning curves of the plain linear regression model. From Scikit-Learn.model selection, import learning curve. Train sizes, train scores, valid scores equal to learning curve, x, y, train sizes equal to np. Linspace, CV equal to 5, scoring equal to, negroot mean squared error, train errors equal to, train scores.mean, valid errors equal to, valid scores.mean. plt.plot, hashtag beautify the figure, add labels, axis, grid, and legend plt.show, figure 4-15, learning curves. This model is underfitting. To see why, first let's look at the training error. When there are just one or two instances in the training set, the model can fit them perfectly, which is why the curve starts at 0. But as new instances are added to the training set, it becomes impossible for the model to fit the training data perfectly, both because the data is noisy and because it is not linear at all. So the error on the training data goes up until it reaches a plateau, at which point adding new instances to the training set doesn't make the average error much better or worse. Now let's look at the validation error. When the model is trained on very few training instances, it is incapable of generalizing properly, which is why the validation error is initially quite large. Then, as the model is shown more training examples, it learns, and thus the validation error slowly goes down. However, once again, a straight line cannot do a good job of modeling the data, so the error ends up at a plateau, very close to the other curve. These learning curves are typical of a model that's underfitting. Both curves have reached a plateau, they are close and fairly high. If your model is underfitting the training data, adding more training examples will not help. You need to use a better model or come up with better features. Now let's look at the learning curves of a 10th degree polynomial model on the same data. From Scikit-Learn.pipeline import make pipeline. Polynomial regression equal to make pipeline linear regression. Train sizes, train scores, valid scores equal to learning curve, CV equal to 5, scoring equal to negroot mean squared error. Hashtag same as earlier. Figure 4-16. Learning curves for the 10th degree polynomial model. These learning curves look a bit like the previous ones, but there are two very important differences. The error on the training data is much lower than before. There is a gap between the curves. This means that the model performs significantly better on the training data than on the validation data, which is the hallmark of an overfitting model. If you used a much larger training set, however, the two curves would continue to get closer. This part is due to the noisiness of the data itself. The only way to reduce
Okay. You skip some part. Yeah, skip some part. You have to read from here.
One way to improve an overfitting model is to feed it more training data until the validation error reaches the training error. The Bias-Variance Tradeoff. An important theoretical result of statistics and machine learning is the fact that a model's generalization error can be expressed as the sum of three very different errors. Bias. This part of the generalization error is due to wrong assumptions, such as
Yeah, this is due to wrong assumption. That's very good. So I think I should complete till here only. Okay. Regularize linear model. I will continue tomorrow. Gradient descent, polynomial regression. Polynomial regression learning curves I have done, and I will continue here from tomorrow. Okay. Regularized linear models, ridge regression, lasso regression, elastic net regression, early stopping, logistic regression. I will continue it tomorrow because I have lot to do, so I have to stop here only. Okay, thank you. I'm going to complete it. Okay, the bias variance trade-off. The bias.
This
This
part of the generalization error is due to wrong assumptions, such as assuming that the data is linear when it is actually quadratic. A high bias model is most likely to underfit the training data.
Yeah.
Variance. This part is due to the model's excessive sensitivity to small variations in the training data. A model with many degrees of freedom is likely to have high variance and thus overfit the training data.
Yeah.
Irreducible error. Increasing a model's complexity will typically increase its variance and reduce its bias.
1 minute. I'll read it.
Irreducible error. Increasing a model's complexity will. This part is due to the noisiness of the data itself. The only way to reduce this part of the error is to clean up the data. One way to improve an overfitting model is to feed it more training data until the valid. Increasing a model's complexity will typically increase its variance and reduce its bias. Conversely, reducing a model's complexity increases its bias and reduces its variance. This is why it is called a trade-off. Regularize.
Okay. I'm continuing regularize linear model tomorrow. Okay. And all things I will cover under in this section, under this regularized linear model section, and day after tomorrow I will complete logistic regression and wrap up the chapter number 4. Okay, training models I will complete in 2 days, within 2 days, tomorrow and day after tomorrow. Okay, thank you for watching it. Now going to summarize whatever I have learned. Better way to summarize is to make a podcast. That is much better. uh, Fine. So going to make a podcast on this uh, regularized linear model, no? Till regularized linear model complete. Going to make a podcast again or create a quiz also. First, I will listen podcast, then I will make a quiz, and then I will answer the questions. That will enhance my understanding, learning, everything. Okay, now I'm going to discuss chapter 4 till regularize, no? Okay, it's making podcast. I think I should parallel do some work because it will take time. Few minutes it will take. Okay, going to start this.
Many of us might assume that to solve a complex problem, you need an equally complex solution. But in machine learning, sometimes the most basic tools, like linear regression, can unlock profound insights, provided we understand their inner workings and how to truly train them. Today, Daniel, we are going to demystify how these fundamental models learn, exploring everything from calculating a perfect fit directly to the iterative process of nudging a model towards an optimal solution.
That's right, Lily. We'll start by looking at linear regression, which is essentially about finding the best straight line to fit your data. Imagine predicting a house price based on its size. That's a classic linear regression problem. The model makes a prediction by calculating a weighted sum of its input features, plus a constant term we call the bias. So if we represent the features as x and their corresponding weights as theta, the prediction y hat is simply theta times x plus a bias.
So the model learns by adjusting these theta values and the bias to get as close as possible to the actual house prices. But how does it quantify closeness, or conversely, error?
It uses a cost function. For regression, the most common is the mean squared error, or MSE. Training the model then becomes an optimization problem, finding the theta values that minimize this MSE across all our training data. What's fascinating is that for linear regression, there's actually a direct, closed-form solution to find these optimal parameters. It's called the normal equation.
A direct equation? So no iterative guessing, just plug in the numbers and get the answer.
Precisely. Given your dataset, represented as a matrix X, and your target values as a vector Y, the optimal theta can be computed as the inverse of X transpose X, multiplied by X transpose Y. It's mathematically elegant. For example, if we generate some data that looks roughly linear, say Y equals 4 plus 3X, plus some noise, the normal equation can very closely recover those original 4 and 3 coefficients, even with the noise present.
That sounds incredibly efficient. But are there any downsides to this normal equation approach?
There are. The computational complexity of inverting the X transpose X matrix can be quite high, especially if you have a very large number of features. It can range from about O of n to the power of 2.4 to O of n cubed, where n is the number of features. For datasets with hundreds of thousands of features, this becomes prohibitively slow. However, it scales linearly with the number of instances, m, so it's efficient for large training sets as long as they fit in memory.
So if we have tons of features, a direct solution might not be the best. What's the alternative then?
That's where gradient descent comes in. It's a generic optimization algorithm that iteratively tweaks parameters to minimize a cost function. Think of it like being blindfolded on a mountain and trying to find the fastest way down to the valley. You'd feel the slope under your feet and take a step in the steepest downhill direction. That's what gradient descent does. It measures the local gradient of the cost function and moves in the opposite direction.
And it does this repeatedly, taking baby steps until it reaches a minimum.
Exactly. An important aspect here is the learning rate, a hyperparameter that determines the size of each step. If the learning rate is too small, convergence will be agonizingly slow. If it's too large, you might overshoot the minimum, bounce around, or even diverge entirely, never finding a good solution. It's a delicate balance.
And what if the mountain isn't a smooth bowl but has multiple dips or flat areas?
Those are local minima and plateaus. Gradient descent can get stuck in a local minimum, failing to find the absolute best solution, the global minimum, or it might take an extremely long time to cross a plateau. Fortunately, for linear regression's MSE cost function, it's a convex function, meaning it's a nice, smooth bowl with only one global minimum. So gradient descent is guaranteed to find it, given enough time and a suitable learning rate. However, feature scaling is crucial. If your features have very different scales, the bowl becomes elongated, and gradient descent will zigzag inefficiently, taking much longer to converge.
So scaling our features, as we discussed in earlier chapters, isn't just good practice, it's essential for efficient gradient descent. Now, you mentioned different flavors of gradient descent.
Yes, there are three main types. First, batch gradient descent. This one calculates the gradients using the entire training dataset at each step. It's precise, but can be agonizingly slow for very large datasets, as it involves computations over all M instances.
That sounds resource intensive. What's the opposite extreme?
Stochastic gradient descent, or SGD. Instead of the whole dataset, it picks a single random instance at each step to compute the gradients. This makes it incredibly fast, allowing it to train on huge datasets that don't even fit in memory. The downside is that its path to the minimum is much more erratic, bouncing around a lot, so the cost function will decrease on average rather than smoothly. It might never truly settle at the exact minimum.
So faster but less stable. How do you mitigate that instability?
We use a learning schedule, gradually reducing the learning rate over time. It starts with large steps to make quick progress and escape local minima, then smaller steps to fine-tune around the global minimum. This is like a simulated annealing process. Scikit-Learn's SGD regressor implements this for linear regression, and it's quite effective.
And the third type of gradient descent.
Mini-batch gradient descent. It's a compromise. Instead of the whole data set or a single instance, it computes gradients on small, random mini-batches of instances. This offers a good balance. It's less erratic than SGD, benefiting from hardware optimizations for matrix operations, especially on GPUs, and it tends to get closer to the minimum than pure SGD, although it might struggle to escape local minima if they exist.
So we have a toolkit of gradient descent methods. What if our data isn't linear at all?
Then we turn to polynomial regression.
Yeah.
The trick here is quite clever. We can still use a linear model, but we add powers of each feature as new features. For example, if you have one feature x, you might add x squared, x cubed, and so on. Then a linear model trained on this extended set of features can fit nonlinear data remarkably well.
So a linear model is still used, but on a transformed higher dimensional feature space that can capture curves and more complex relationships. But adding too many polynomial features sounds like it could lead to trouble.
It absolutely can. With a low degree, it might underfit the data. With a very high degree, it's highly prone to overfitting, where the model essentially memorizes the training data, including noise, and performs poorly on new, unseen data. Imagine a wiggly line trying to hit every single point in your dataset. It looks great on the training data, but it won't generalize. This brings us to a crucial concept: learning
Learning
curves.
curve.
What do learning curves tell us about our model?
They plot the model's training error and validation error as a function of the training set size, or over iterations. If both curves are high and close together, it indicates underfitting. The model is too simple. It just can't capture the underlying patterns. Adding more training data won't help here. You need a more complex model or better features. Conversely, if there's a large gap between a low training error and a high validation error, that's the hallmark of overfitting. The model performs great on what it's seen, but poorly on new data. In this case, more training data can actually help reduce the gap as it forces the model to generalize better.
That's a very clear way to visualize a model's performance and diagnose problems. It seems like a constant balancing act.
It is. This balance is encapsulated in the bias-variance tradeoff. Bias is due to wrong assumptions in the model, leading to underfitting. Variance is the model's excessive sensitivity to small variations in the training data, leading to overfitting. There's also irreducible error caused by noise in the data itself. Increasing a model's complexity typically increases its variance, but reduces its bias, and vice versa. The goal is to find the sweet spot where both are minimized for optimal generalization.
So understanding
This
these
is the important
trade-offs
line.
and diagnostic
This is
This
important line.
balance is encapsulated in the bias-variance tradeoff. Bias is due to wrong assumptions in the model, leading to underfitting. Variance is the model's excessive sensitivity to small variations in the training data, leading to overfitting. There's also irreducible error caused by noise in the data itself. Increasing a model's complexity typically increases its variance, but reduces its bias, and vice versa. The goal is to find the sweet spot where both are minimized for optimal generalization.
Optimization.
So,
Generalization.
understanding these trade-offs and diagnostic tools like learning curves is crucial to building effective models, whether we're using simple linear regression or something far more complex.
Absolutely. It's about building models that are powerful enough to learn from the data, but not so complex that they get lost in the noise.
If you found this discussion insightful, please share this episode with someone eager to understand the foundational principles of machine learning.
Yeah, definitely said it. Okay. Such a great podcast. Okay. And I will provide the link of this podcast that I made in the description. Okay. I will just go here. Okay. And click here. Okay. And copy the link, which will be provided up there. Yeah. Yeah. And then I will share the link copied, and I will just paste it in the description. Go in the description and just play it. You can enjoy the podcast. You can learn whatever I learned today. Okay, fine. Now going to press F11. Yeah, going to next our Salesforce course. Okay, going to end this. Okay, and opening this. Okay, start this. Explore the Trailblazer community. Going to explore it, and once I uh, close a 1 minute. Trailblazer. Let the Trailblazer course. Oh yeah, Salesforce. We have Salesforce. Now it's good. Okay. Now going to continue it. Continuing from here, explore the Trailblazer community. Okay.
Explore the Trailblazer community. Learning objectives. After completing this unit, you'll be able to describe the power of the Trailblazer community. Engage with other Trailblazers in the Trailblazer community. Find topics and groups that align with your needs and interests. The power of the community. Trailblazers are always looking for innovative ways to maximize Salesforce success in their organizations and make the world a better place. We love to help Trailblazers learn, connect, have fun, and give back together.
Yeah.
Since its establishment in 2006, the Trailblazer community has helped millions of Trailblazers worldwide on their journeys of learning and succeeding with Salesforce. We surveyed hundreds of active community members, and they gave us quite a few reasons you shouldn't wait to engage with the Trailblazer community. 90% reported that participation in the community helps them accelerate innovation at their company. 80% said that the peer connections they've made help them increase adoption and productivity. 73% said that the community helped them build professional networks. Here's what a few of our Trailblazer community group leaders, members, and Salesforce MVPs have to say about the power of the community. Let's see how you can get started. Connect
They are sharing their knowledge, they are sharing their ideas, what they are doing, and what they are going to do in the future.
Go out and meet all of the people in the community, because the more that you meet, the more that you're able to educate yourselves and the more you're able to use the platform in lots of different ways.
Don't be afraid to take on challenges that you might think are harder. You've got a great community of folks that are here for you, and that will continue to empower and inspire you.
Being an active member of the community has changed my life in the way that discovering Salesforce has changed my life. It's community around the world of people I can turn to for help, people that I feel like I can help.
You can learn as well as give back, because sometimes what you did, which you might think is not that cool, might be a lifesaver for somebody else. So it is that yin and yang.
Okay, that's great. Okay, that's great.
Connect with Trailblazers from anywhere. Trailhead and the Trailblazer community are part of one unified platform where you learn relevant skills, connect with other Trailblazers, and give back together. When you follow a Trailblazer, follow a topic, or join a group, you see updates in your feed. Learn relevant skills. As a member of the Trailblazer community, you're also part of the Salesforce ecosystem. You can explore the ecosystem and expand your network by
Okay. Continue it.
Try joining a featured group such as Release Readiness, Trailblazer Community. Learn relevant skills. As a member of the Trailblazer community, you're also part of the Salesforce ecosystem. You can explore the ecosystem and expand your network by joining groups both online and in person. And you can learn more about specific subjects with topics. Discover and follow featured topics, ask questions and tag them with topics to get a conversation started, and get answers from Trailblazers around the world. You'll also see recommended Trailhead modules and projects in the sidebar of the community. If you see a module you're interested in, favorite it for later, or jump right in and start learning. Join community groups. The Trailblazer community is home to thousands of groups that you can engage with both in the online community and in person at meetings near you. Some are created and managed by Salesforce, while many others are led by Trailblazers like you. Groups are where Trailblazers with common interests gather to discuss multiple topics. Try joining a featured group such as Release Readiness, Trailblazer Community Cove, or Admin Trailblazers. Filter featured groups by region, product, and interest to find one that's relevant to you. Connect with community and product experts. The Trailblazer community also helps you connect with passionate product experts dedicated to helping you succeed with Salesforce. Salesforce MVPs are annually recognized product experts and community leaders who help their fellow Trailblazers learn Salesforce and connect to the Trailblazer community. From leading community groups to organizing community conferences, Salesforce MVPs are committed to your success with Salesforce. Additionally, you'll find the Answers leaderboard to the right of your online Trailblazer community feed. These answer leaders are experts recognized for giving back by helpfully answering questions in the Trailblazer community. To ask a question in the online community, simply type your question into the Ask a Question box on the top of your Trailblazer community feed, and a fellow community member will answer your question within 24 hours, on average. With answer helpfulness ratings, you'll also get insight into the usefulness of answers. This ensures you're seeing the highest quality answers first. When you find a particular answer most helpful, give that answer an upvote to help other Trailblazers identify the highest quality answer provided.
Yeah.
Additionally, the author of the question can select the most helpful answer by using the Accept this answer action. This accepted answer is then pinned to the top of the thread and is visible in the feed. Give back. Giving back is part of the Trailblazer community's DNA. The best way to give back is by sharing your knowledge and expertise with fellow Trailblazers. If you're an expert yourself, answer other Trailblazers' questions. Answering questions is a great way to build your profile in the Trailblazer community, make new connections, and give back. And if you're just starting out, know that the entire community is cheering you on. Many groups, topics, and resources focus on students and job seekers. Take it mobile. Learn in-demand skills and become a Salesforce expert with the free Trailhead mobile app. Download the Trailhead mobile app from the App Store on your iPhone and
I
iPad,
already
or
downloaded.
on Google Play for your Android device to access personalized learning on Trailhead and get support from millions of Trailblazers on the Trailblazer community, all in one streamlined app. Resources. Trailhead, Trailblazer community.
Okay, I'm going to answer the question now. To complete this unit, you need to answer all the quiz questions correctly. What's the first step to getting involved in the Trailblazer community? Signing up on Trail, talking to sales for account executive, emailing. Just sign up. Okay, that's the first step. Going to Dreamforce. No. I think signing up on Trailhead. True or false? As a member of Trailblazer community, you are able to learn about a number of topics by networking within Salesforce ecosystem. As a member of Trailblazer community, you are able to learn about a number of topics by networking. Yeah, definitely true. It's true, and this is true. Let me check out. There is a control. Fine. Take a screenshot. अरे यार फिर से वही again the same thing going on. I have to make a new. Nice. Correct answer is A. Yeah, this is correct. Create your profile and start connecting to first. Networking is one of the best benefit and learn on number of topics by networking. Okay, fine. This is okay. This way it's really called you want okay, fine. It's okay. Very helpful. I'm going to share the link, copy link, and I'm going to paste it here. Chat. Nice. Awesome. Fine. Going to read it now. I think how much part is completed yet? 19% part is completed. 26 hour 11 minutes that are left, but it's more given. It will be completed very early. Today I will make a target to complete it as much as possible because I have to do a lot of work after it.
Meet trailblazers like you. Learning objectives. After completing this unit, you'll be able to participate in the Trailblazer community, step up to help, or start a Trailblazer community group. Whether you're new to the Salesforce ecosystem or you've been in the mix for years, there's a community of customers ready to help you. The Trailblazer community helps you learn relevant skills, connect with other Trailblazers, and give back. In this module, we delve into the specifics of how to engage in Trailblazer community groups. First, let's talk about how participation in the community can help you succeed at work and in your career. We know it takes time and effort to engage, and it can feel hard to step out of your comfort zone. So let's start by discussing good reasons to make participation a priority. 8 substantial statistics from the Trailblazer Community Impact Survey. In 2019, we surveyed hundreds of active Trailblazer community members and asked them how their participation in the Trailblazer community has helped them professionally and personally. 93% said participating in the community helps them learn about new products and solutions. 90% said participation helps them accelerate innovation. 80% said peer
Oh, I
connections
think
help
it's
them
closed.
increase adoption and productivity. 73% said the community has helped them build professional networks. 49% said they've learned about new career paths through the community. And said community participation has helped them develop leadership skills. 40% said participation helps them build their personal brand. 32% said the community has helped them secure new job opportunities. Here's what a few of our Trailblazer community group leaders, members, and Salesforce MVPs have to say about the power of the community. Do you want to reap all of those benefits and have fun while you're at it? Let's see how Trailblazer community groups can show you the way. Get an overview of Trailblazer community groups. Groups are where Trailblazers with common interests gather to discuss multiple topics. A group can be private, public, or unlisted. Public. This group is visible to anyone, and anyone can join. Private. To join this group, the group owner or manager has to approve your request. Unlisted, you have to be invited to join this
It
group.
was sorry for
Use
interrupting.
groups to
I got
collaborate with
interrupted. There was
Trailblazers
some
on a
issue.
range of
Okay,
interests. We recommend you
but I
start by
think it's
exploring featured
continuing.
groups such as Release Readiness, Trailblazer Community.
So I'm going to repeat it again, so you can listen it. I think you can see me. Okay, fine. Starting from here.
Release Readiness. Admin. 80% said peer connections help them increase adoption and productivity. 73% said the community has helped them build professional networks. 49% said they've learned about new career paths through the community. 49% said community participation has helped them develop leadership skills. 40%. Here's what a few of our Trailblazer community group leaders, members, and Salesforce MVPs have to say about the power of the community. Do you want to reap all of those benefits and have fun while you're at it?
Okay, I'm going to see it. Okay, see the video.
Community succeeds. So no one that I've interacted with or encountered has been in it just for themselves. They want to see the collective succeed.
Trailblazer community is an amazing resource that anyone can access.
Community, because I know the question I've got themselves, and the more you're able to use the platform.
Same thing is repeated again.
Let's see how Trailblazer community groups can show you the way. Get an overview of Trailblazer community groups. Groups are where Trailblazers with common interests gather to discuss multiple topics. A group can be private, public, or unlisted. Public. This group is visible to anyone, and anyone can join. Private. To join this group, the group owner or manager has to approve your request. Unlisted. You have to be invited to join this group. Use groups to collaborate with Trailblazers on a range of interests. We recommend you start by exploring featured groups such as Release Readiness, Trailblazer Community Cove, and Lightning Now. Featured groups are a subset of all groups that have been chosen by the Trailblazer community team at Salesforce. You can filter featured groups by region, product, and interest. Trailblazers like you join these groups to build their expertise, expand their networks, and get momentum around common interests. There are thousands of active groups covering a wide range of topics. Try searching for these popular groups to get inspired. Customer Success, Trailhead, Release Readiness, Admin Trailblazers, Developer Trailblazers, Architect, Trailblazer Community, Trailblazer Community Cove. Once you've found a group that interests you, join the group if it's public, or request to join it if it's private. Next, set your notification preferences for the group. Finally, all that's left to do is to start participating by posting your own questions and comments. Featured groups are just the tip of the iceberg. Let's talk about some of the other types of groups and how you can find more groups that are relevant to you. Product-related groups. Search for the product you're interested in using the search bar, or filter results by product. You can also limit your search to Salesforce-led or customer-led groups with the other filter. Local groups. Our Trailblazers love to meet each other, whether it's virtually or in person. Members in local groups meet on a regular basis within their city or region. To find local groups, filter group results by clicking Other and selecting Customer-led. Community group leaders volunteer their time to build these groups and host regular, often monthly, and at least quarterly, meetings to bring members together to share best practices and build networks. Meetings are chock full of values for local group members, giving them opportunities to explore new ideas and innovations, make new career connections, and get help to address a current challenge. There are a few different types of local groups. Salesforce User Group. Explore a broad range of topics and networking for all types of Salesforce users. Salesforce Admin Group. Deliver innovation with declarative tools and solutions. Salesforce Developer Group. Build incredible apps with developer tools and code. Salesforce Marketer Group. Deliver effective marketing with account engagement and marketing cloud engagement. Salesforce Nonprofit User Group. Fund and run your entire mission with Nonprofit Cloud. Salesforce Higher Ed User Group. Empower your institution to become a connected campus with Education Cloud. Salesforce Women in Tech Group. Build your career with fellow female leaders and allies. To find events hosted by these local groups, go to trailblazercommunitygroups.com. Here you can find a To find events hosted by these local groups, go to trailblazercommunitygroups.com. Here you can find a calendar of both in-person and virtual meetings. You can search for events and filter them by date, region, or related program. By default, you'll see events nearby. Virtual groups. Like local groups, virtual groups connect peers on a regular basis to discuss specific industries or interests. There are two types of virtual groups. Industry user groups. Customers from diverse roles and backgrounds within the same industry come together to share best practices. Examples of active industry-focused groups include retail and consumer goods, financial services, healthcare life sciences, higher education, manufacturing, wealth management, travel and hospitality. Equality and diversity. Community groups, equality and diversity are core values for Salesforce and our Trailblazer community. Passionate community leaders have started several virtual groups to unite Trailblazers around important topics, such as women in tech diversity, women in tech developers, and LGBTQIA+ Trailblazers. We encourage everyone to participate and support these groups in their efforts to create momentum around these important issues. If you're passionate about an equality or diversity-related topic and you don't see a group for it, talk to the Trailblazer community team about starting your own virtual group. That leads us nicely into our next point. If you don't find what you're looking for, you can start a group of your own. Start a community group. As we mentioned above, anyone can start a group. If you'd like to help manage an existing customer-led group, reach out to the group managers to discuss. Check the right-hand panel of a group's page to find the group owners and managers. To get in touch, post in the group, and get engaged. Let the leaders know you'd like to volunteer. There are never enough hours in the day to do all the things our leaders wish they could do for their members, so every little bit of help is welcome. Think about how you can give back, even as you're starting your community journey. Whether you have awesome connections, content suggestions, expertise you'd like to share, or great organizational skills, our leaders love to find ways for members to engage. Create a community group. Here are a few requirements to consider before deciding to start a new Trailblazer community group. You are active in the Salesforce ecosystem, and you're ready to create an environment to promote learning and networking with other Trailblazers. You participate actively in the Trailblazer community. You have proven Salesforce product expertise through Trailhead ranks or Salesforce certifications. You've checked that the community group you'd like to start doesn't already exist. Apply to lead a local community group. You participate in a local or virtual community group and have connected with current community group leaders to understand what it takes to manage a group. You can host at least one useful, informative, and fun in-person or virtual meeting per quarter. You reside or work in the location of your proposed Trailblazer community group, local groups only. If all of the above sounds like you, hover over the Community tab in Trailhead, click Groups, and click New Group. Is there a mobile app? There's no reason you shouldn't keep the learning going when you're away from your computer. You can collaborate with Trailblazers, ask questions, and share your expertise on relevant topics with the community in the Trailhead mobile app. Download the Trailhead mobile from the App Store on your iPhone and iPad, or on Google Play for your Android device to learn, earn, and connect whenever you have a few spare minutes. Resources. Trailhead, and Trailblazer Community. Trailblazer Community, featured groups. Trailblazer Community, events, Apple App Store, Trailhead mobile app, Google Play Store, Trailhead mobile app.
Okay, fine. How are the community groups different from local and virtual group? Local and virtual group have regular community lead meetings. Okay. Community groups can be led by Salesforce employees or community members? Okay. And B. Who lead local amateur groups? Salesforce customer partners, Salesforce employees, Salesforce executives, Salesforce customer partner. Yeah. Community meeting. Okay. Okay. Not a connection, but no. Correct answer. Okay. Community members, customer partner, not Salesforce staff. Okay, I will tackle the next unit after some time. Okay, when you start.
Discover community conferences. Learning objectives. Discover community conferences. Learning objectives.
I think I have to okay, refresh it. So I'm going to refresh it so I can see where to start. Okay.
Discover community conferences. Learning objectives.
Yeah.
After completing this unit, you'll be able to explain what a Trailblazer community conference is. Find a Trailblazer community conference near you. Community conferences at a glance. Trailblazer community conferences are an opportunity to learn from peers, build your network, and get inspired to be your best at 1-2 days conferences. Community conferences are solely organized and hosted by customers like you. From the venue to the content to the speakers, every single aspect of these conferences is organized with a local community in mind. What can you learn at community conferences? Content is typically a mix of technical knowledge and soft skills. And while some conferences focus on a specific role, others span admin, developer, business user, and executive learning topics. In some cases, the content is delivered in the region's native language. Community conferences aren't just for learning, they also include opportunities to have fun or give back. Many of them incorporate networking and exciting fundraising activities, such as surfing, skiing, dinners, and parties. Every community conference has its own flavor. Here are a few examples. Punta Dreamin' was the first community conference in Latin America and offers speakers and sessions in both Spanish and English. It takes place in scenic Punta del Este, Uruguay, and encourages attendees to take a deep dive into both the content and the warm waters off the coast. Another example is Whiteness Success, which brings together women in technology and allies. Whiteness Success stands out in that its content is not only geared towards Salesforce knowledge, but also leadership, career growth and support, self-defense, empowerment, and more. Community conferences aren't just about learning and networking, they're about giving back, too. You can bet there will be some volunteering opportunities at these conferences. Surfforce is an example of a community conference with a strong focus on giving back. The organizers combine two of their passions, surfing and Salesforce. While at the community conference, attendees learn about Salesforce and participate in a beach cleanup activity. Are you ready to attend 1 or 10 Trailblazer community conferences? Check out a list of upcoming conferences here. The force behind community conferences. The first Trailblazer community conference took place in Chicago, Illinois. Eric Dreschfield, a Salesforce MVP and community group leader, had a dream to bring Dreamforce close to home by building a super community group with speakers, content, and networking to Chicago. His dream, Midwest Dreamin', was first realized in 2011 and has since inspired an incredible movement. There are now more than 30 community conferences around the world, ranging from 100 to more than 1,500 attendees. Community conference teams are often made up of 5 to 10 community group leaders, Salesforce MVPs, and passionate community members. These teams work together to do everything from picking locations to gathering content and securing sponsors. This is a labor of love on top of their careers, family lives, and ongoing community contributions. Without fail, they all say it's more than worth it to see Trailblazers in their community succeed together. Let's sum it up. Trailblazer community groups are diverse, span the globe, and welcome all. Community groups help you meet Trailblazers just like you, who live in your city, work in similar roles and industries, or share your special interests. You'll always have the Ohana at your side as community group meetings and community conferences happen year-round and globally. Let's succeed together. Join at trailblazer.salesforce.com. Resources. Trailhead, Trailblazer Community Conferences.
We're going to start it now. The quiz. Okay, so community conferences are hosted and organized by customers. Yeah, yeah. One minute. Okay. Community conferences are hosted and organized by customers. Okay. 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 No, the community conferences are hosted and organized by customers. Yes, true. Community conferences are centered around three things: learning new language, traveling and volunteering, meeting people around the world, public speaking, and learning new skills. This is the task of someone. Okay, fine. Take the screenshot. Okay, I'm going to take the screenshot now. I'm just going to paste here. Fine. Correct. This is also correct. Okay. I go again submit it. Hmm. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. I'm going to see this video also.
Because I get to sharpen my skills, but also I get to connect with community members that are having the same issues that I'm having. And it lifts me up. It gives me that extra burst of energy that I need.
People are really excited to get content led by their peers. We have all kinds of subject matter experts all over the country and the globe flying in just to share what they know. And I think that's what I love the most about this community.
You get to know more about different people, different cultures, different stories, and that really motivates me or inspires me.
This is a spot where we're able to bring amazing speakers in to talk about topics that are relevant, hands-on, much more intimate.
The vibe is completely different. The one-on-one relationship that you can have with speakers is unique.
The thing that really stands out to me about community events is just the energy. Everybody who comes to these has such a great energy about them. They want to learn, they want to connect. You know, they really want to help each other blaze trails together.
More friends, more family, more networking, more business relationships, more fun. So every time we come to these conferences, it's not just learning, it's having fun while learning.
Go to them, show up, turn up, listen, make friends, network. You'll learn a load of things and actually make some friends for life as well.
That's a great video, okay? I'm wrong. Okay. Learning network, correct answer. Sounds too broad. Okay, learning. This is learning networking and giving back. Learning networking and giving back. Fine. Got it. Light gone, light gone. I think you can see me, but I can't see the screen. So what I will do, I will just pull this here on the network. Okay, time is already going. So without wasting time, I'm going to start it. Okay, fine. I'm going to start here. I think you can see me. Okay, okay, starting here. Taking a lot of time. Stop on. It's taking a lot of time. I don't know why, but it's just taking a lot of time to reconnect. Finally, it's connected now. सही है
पंखो बंद क्या करे तू
लाइट चली गई है
इन्वर्टर चला ले तो
अभी चालू कर ओके
पटक 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 तोड़ दो अच्छा बैठ जा बाहर ही आवे दे कटे खिड़की
Now it's connected. Now I think I will continue it. Okay, I am shared this already there in the LinkedIn. Now going to start it from here. Sorry for a lot of time is gone. It's okay, but electricity is gone, so because of that, it took a lot of time. But now everything is working nice. So going to start the next module. Okay, fine.
दो करना है तो फिर
Hmm.
दो करना है
Hmm.
एक आलू एक दूध एक आलू एक दूध
Hello, friend. So, going to start my study now. 25-minute timer. I will say start. Okay, finally I started. Okay, now it's time to start it. Agent Force key components. Quick look. Okay, I'm going to press F11 and increase the size so you can see it properly. Now going to read it. Okay.
Discover Agent Force. Learning objectives. After completing this unit, you'll be able to define an autonomous agent, explain how Agent Force helps get work done. Meet Agent Force. Agents are autonomous, proactive applications designed to execute specialized tasks to help employees and customers. Agents use large language models, LLMs, to analyze and understand the full context of customer interactions or an automated trigger, then reason through decisions on the next steps autonomously. These agents generate responses that are consistent with your company's brand voice and guidelines using trusted business data, including Salesforce CRM data, external data from Data 360, and more. These agents are capable of operating 24/7 across various platforms like self-service portals and messaging channels, handling tasks proactively within set guardrails. When faced with complex issues beyond their scope, they can escalate the matter to human agents, ensuring that queries are resolved efficiently and accurately. The Agent Force out-of-the-box agents are easy to customize and deploy with clicks, not code. They can be set up in minutes, are easily scalable, and work around the clock across any channel. Here are just some of the agents available. Service Agent replaces traditional chatbots with AI that can handle a wide range of service issues without pre-programmed scenarios, improving customer service efficiency. Sales Development Representative, SDR, engages with prospects 24/7, answering questions, managing objections, and scheduling meetings based on CRM and external data, allowing your sellers to focus on building deeper customer relationships. Sales Coach provides personalized role-play sessions for your sales team, using Salesforce data and generative AI to help sellers practice pitches and objections tailored to specific deals. Merchandiser assists your e-commerce merchandisers with site setup, goal setting, personalized promotions, product descriptions, and data-driven insights, simplifying daily tasks. Buyer Agent enhances the business-to-business buying experience, helping your buyers find products, make purchases, and track orders via chat or within sales portals. Personal Shopper acts as a digital concierge on your e-commerce sites or messaging apps, offering personalized product recommendations and assisting with search queries. Campaign Optimizer automates the full campaign lifecycle, using AI to analyze, generate, personalize, and optimize marketing campaigns based on business goals. Agent Force supports employees in the flow of their work with specific tasks by searching for data, creating action plans, and executing them to increase workplace efficiency. Key components of an agent. Each agent has parameters that define the job it can do and the action it can take, role, and agent's purpose. This defines the job to be done and the broader goals the agent should achieve on your team. Knowledge. The data an agent needs to be successful. This can include company knowledge articles, CRM data, external data via Data 360, public websites, and so on. Actions. The goals an agent can fulfill. This is a predefined task an agent can execute to do its job based on a trigger or instruction. For example, it could run a flow, prompt template, or Apex. Guardrails. The guidelines an agent can operate under. These can be natural language instructions telling the agent what it can and can't do, when to escalate to a human, or could come from built-in security features in the Einstein Trust Layer. Channels. The applications where an agent gets work done. This can be your website, CRM, mobile app, Slack, and more. Agent Force Reasoning Engine. The brain of an agent. The Agent Force Reasoning Engine is designed to enhance user interaction through faster, more capable, and more multi-turn conversations. Here's a brief overview and key features. Multi-turn chat. The Reasoning Engine facilitates interactive communication with users by considering and adapting to added conversational context, enhancing the accuracy of the service provided. Topic classification. The Reasoning Engine classifies user utterances into topics based on predefined descriptions, ensuring relevant responses. Instructions and actions. Each topic includes specific instructions and actions, such as verifying order details or obtaining further information, to assist users accurately and efficiently. Knowledge retrieval. The Reasoning Engine uses multiple techniques, including Advanced Retrieval Augmentation Generation, RAG, which selectively uses multiple language models to iteratively refine the quality of queries, retrieving the most relevant knowledge chunks, while also evaluating the quality of the response. Searchable public data. Agents can now securely access public data through the Einstein Trust Layer, expanding its knowledge base. How an agent takes action. Agents take action and adhere to guardrails using natural language descriptions that outline the tasks and operational boundaries. Here's a summary of how they operate. The agent first receives a trigger, which can be a conversation with an employee or customer, a change in data, or an automation. The agent uses the LLM and natural language descriptions to identify the context and select a topic that best fits the job to be done, including the scope, data required, and necessary conditions. Depending on the task, an agent selects and chains actions. Those actions are executed via flows, Apex classes, APIs, or direct prompts. Agents dynamically plan and execute tasks while strictly following predefined guardrails. They also have built-in mechanisms for harm and toxicity detection, using the Einstein trust layer, ensuring they avoid engaging in inappropriate or harmful activities. Now you know a little about agents, what they do, and how they do it. To learn more, see the Trailhead content listed in resources, which includes an opportunity to get hands-on and build an agent. Resources. Trailhead. Quick start. Build your first agent.
Which of these can serve as guardians of exams? Guardrails.
Okay, we're going to check out either the answer are correct or not correct. Okay, going to check it out. Yeah, yeah, correct. Okay, so B and C are correct. Fine. Fine. Now I'm going to set this page also. What I will do, I will just press F11 and then what I will do, take a screenshot. Okay, press enter, click over here, copy link and go here, paste it. Okay, then after that I will, yeah, we just grab, let's go. Okay, fine. I will do it, continue it, and now it's time to move the next topic. Next topic is experience cloud basic. Okay, I'm going to start it. And now it's fine. Uh, Start it. 23%.
Get started with Experience Cloud, Learning Objectives. After completing this unit, you'll be able to explain the benefits of Experience Cloud, describe how your company can engage with customers and partners using digital experiences, list the benefits of a digital experience built on the Salesforce platform, how your Experience Cloud site can help you, whether you call it a portal, a help forum, a support site, or something else. An Experience Cloud site is a beautifully branded digital experience connected to your CRM. Experience Cloud makes it easy to create these experiences, engage customers, and empower partners. Check out this video for a quick overview of how Experience Cloud sites work in your Salesforce org. You can create multiple sites and experiences within your Salesforce org to address different purposes, and many companies do just that. Since the sites live in your Salesforce org, you can choose exactly how customers and partners access content and data. The Experience
By the end of this video, you'll be able to describe an Experience Cloud site's position as part of a Salesforce org, understand the differences between licensing tiers, and understand how site users are provisioned via accounts. Whether you call it a portal, a help forum, a support site, or an HR Central, an Experience Cloud site is a great way to connect customers in a new way, share information, and collaborate on business processes. A site built using Experience Cloud sits on top of your Salesforce org, using the powerful Salesforce platform at its core. An org can host multiple sites, each independent of one another. Think of them as flowers, growing independently from one another, from the fertile soil that is Salesforce. In order to fully understand how Experience Cloud sites work in an org, we first have to learn a bit more about community license types. Experience Cloud sites use community licenses for access. There are 5 tiers of licenses: External Apps, Customer Community Plus, Partner Community, and Channel Accounts, and each solves a particular use case. Choosing the right licenses, used exclusively for external users, is one of the most critical decisions for any Experience Cloud project. Let's see how they work. The External Apps license is great for business-to-customer, or B2C, use cases. This license is great for when you want your customers to have pretty minimal interaction with Salesforce records. The Customer Community license is also ideal for B2C use cases, like customer portal or peer-to-peer forums. This license is great for sites with thousands or millions of users. For example, let's say you set up a knowledge base where you expect folks to find the product info that they need. Beyond looking at knowledge articles, asking other community members questions, and creating a case or two, these community members won't be doing much else. Or let's say you have a customer portal, which includes having customers log in to pay a bill, report a missing credit card, or update their home address. Both these use cases are perfect for the Customer Community license type. Customer Community Plus license goes a step above Customer Community licenses and can be used for both B2B and B2C use cases that don't involve sales scenarios. Some key benefits include all the sharing benefits of a full Salesforce license and access to reports and dashboards. Partner Community licenses are the highest license tier and are great for B2B use cases where your company sells through a distribution channel. This license grants access to Salesforce objects such as leads, opportunities, and campaigns. It can be used in a variety of use cases like partner relationship management for resellers, broker portals, dealer sites, or B2B commerce. The channel account license gives the same benefits as partner community licenses, but is just packaged differently. Each different community license determines different levels of access to objects and features. Once you've figured out the types of licenses you need for your site, it's time to set up your users. First and foremost, every site user in your org has to be associated with an account. There are no two ways about this. Want a site user? Then you need an associated account. There are 2 different account types in Salesforce: person accounts and business accounts. A person account represents an individual and combines the account and contact fields into a single record. One person account equals one site user. Person accounts only work with Customer Community and Customer Community Plus licenses. Business accounts represent companies. You can create many site users associated with one business account. Here are the steps you need to take to create users as part of a business account. For the partners, convert the account to a partner account. Create a contact in the account, and convert the contact into a site user. Let's recap. You purchased community licenses and created users using accounts. You have one or multiple sites in your org. Finally, you associate users as members of a site. The same user can be a member of multiple sites, and a site can have different users with different license types associated to it. Let's take an example. You purchased 10,000 customer community licenses for your support community and 500 partner community licenses for your seller site. You created 1,000 customer users via accounts and made them members of the support community. Then you created 250 partner users via accounts and made them members of the partner reseller site. You also added the same 250 partner users to the support community so that they can support your customers and get more business by showing expertise. Let's take a look at the fundamental concepts we learned in this video: how a site lives in an org, the different license tiers and their characteristics, and how site users are created using personal or business accounts. These are some of the most important concepts you need to understand to know how sites work within the context of the Salesforce org. With this knowledge in your arsenal, you're now ready to understand more complex issues when it comes to sharing data and Experience Cloud sites. To learn more, check out these resources, or join us on the trail at trailblazer.salesforce.com.
Experience Cloud Advantage. What is the advantage of building a digital experience using Salesforce? 2 words: integrate everything. Here's a short list of how you can use Experience Cloud to give stakeholders what they need. Create multiple experiences for specific needs. Extend business processes to partners and customers. Integrate data, such as orders or financial information, from third-party providers. Use themes and templates to create beautiful branded experiences. Use Salesforce CMS to create content and deliver to any channel. Data from your site lives in your Salesforce org, and data living in your Salesforce org can be shared externally through your site. Don't worry, your admin controls both data visibility with the outside world and which audience can access what, just like you do with your internal Salesforce org. In short, a digital experience built using Experience Cloud provides a window into your Salesforce world. Let's take a closer look at how Experience Cloud helps one business improve its relationships with customers and partners, engage with customers, and empower partners. What can you do with a digital experience built with Experience Cloud? Almost anything you want, but here are some common use cases: customer service and account portals. Empower your customers to find solutions to their customer service issues on their own with access to your knowledge base, your service agents, and peer-to-peer support. In addition, give customers access to their data and member portal. Partner relationship management and channel sales. Increase your and your partner's revenue stream by collaborating on opportunities and deals. Onboard partners quickly by sharing content and training materials. Are you intrigued? We hope so, since we look at specific site types more in depth in a little bit. Now that you're more familiar with Experience Cloud, you're ready to explore using it to engage with your customers. Resources.
Okay, how can your company use Experience Cloud to engage with external users? So you create a customer portal, create a replica Salesforce, or create multiple experience for different audience. A and C, yeah, correct. A site using a site built using Experience Cloud gives you which of the following advantage: integrated data, isolated processes. Yeah, copying down. You know, customer service and account control. Customer service issues on the customer service and the type of API. So, okay. राजू राजू भैया दूर के Okay, this how can your company use Experience Cloud to engage with external user? This is also I create a customer portal. There are multiple experiences for different audiences. This is you can. A site built using Experience Cloud gives you each of the following advantage integrating data. 100 points. Take out the next unit. Okay. Now going to start this one. Engage with your customers. This is
Engage with your customers. Learning objectives. After completing this unit, you'll be able to describe some typical use cases for a self-service portal. Define measurable goals for a self-service portal. Use Experience Cloud to engage with customers. You're interested in creating an Experience Cloud site for your customers. Why? Because a service portal for customers gives customers one place to find information about your company and products. Provides customers access to their data, accounts, service tickets, bills, and so on. Lets customers share experiences and expertise with other customers. Let's look at a self-service portal in action. Lyra Financial is a software company based in Boulder, Colorado, that makes cloud-based accounting software for both individuals and businesses. Around 25,000 customers worldwide use Lyra's products. Individual clients use Lyra to create budgets, track bills, and do their taxes. Business clients use Lyra to calculate sales tax, do online accounting, manage their payrolls, and more. Sarayu Jain, the head of it, has been looking to upgrade the company's internal and external-facing digital experiences. She's chosen Salesforce and Experience Cloud to meet her goals. With Experience Cloud, Lyra Financial can create multiple experiences in its Salesforce board, so Lyra can tailor them to individual and business customers. Jasper Hare, the company's VP of support, wants individual and business customers to have their own specific site for their needs. Within Lyra's site, the customer can maintain their account, view knowledge articles, and if need be, open cases with support. Jasper works with Sarayu and Alessandra Basola, the site manager, to come up with specific goals for Lyra's customer experience. As the three of them brainstorm, they realize that there's a different list of goals for each type of customer. They actually need two distinct experiences, a customer site for individual clients and a customer account portal for business clients. Luckily, Experience Cloud makes that easy. Lyra's individual client customer support site, Lyra's business client customer support site. Enable peer-to-peer interactions with the aim of deflecting cases away from support. Let customers create cases online when needed. Give customers a live chat option to chat with customer service or bots. Expose Lyra's knowledge base to customers. Access on mobile devices. Give access to their account information for easy updates. Enable businesses to manage their orders. Review. Monthly statements. Let customers create cases online when necessary. Expose Lyra's knowledge base to customers. Access on mobile devices. Giving customers what they need. We've already mentioned one of the biggest benefits of building your experience on the Salesforce platform. The fact that you're actually building on a Salesforce platform. Being on the Salesforce platform means that you can integrate various Salesforce features seamlessly into your experience. Let's see how a few Agentforce service features can enhance Lyra Financial's customer service offerings. First, Lyra can now easily expose its Salesforce knowledge articles outside its internal org. A few clicks in Experience Builder are all it takes for customers to access help articles about your products and support. What if customers don't find they need an article? They can easily ask a question or file a case directly on the site. All the cases filed in Lyra's self-service site show up in Salesforce, which means they can be tracked and reported on. How's this reporting helpful? Well, every year, just before U.S. taxes are due, Lyra sees a significant increase in cases about calculating deductions. Based on this increase, Lyra's product teams decide to publish a video showing how customers can calculate their deduction and where to enter that information. The number of cases about deductions drops. Lyra Financial then decides to add live chat capabilities to its experiences with messaging for in-app and web, using the embedded messaging component in Experience Builder. When client Veronica Sismondo has a problem, she just clicks a pop-up that offers help. Veronica starts chatting with the Lyra support agent, James McGuire. On his end, James is using the service console, where he sees Veronica's information in one glance. James notices that Veronica has been a Lyra business customer for 6 years, and in that time she's opened 3 cases. All her cases have to do with calculating sales tax for her specialty net ads. James helps Veronica resolve the case quickly. Her company has to ship goods to Oregon, which doesn't have state sales tax. At the same time, he offers her a deal on a new Lyra sales tax wizard, which takes the guesswork out of a complicated process. Veronica doesn't commit to buying, but James can tell she's thinking about it. James enters a note in her account for the sales team to follow up with Veronica to see if her interest amounts to a new sale and measure the return on your Experience Cloud investment. How can Sarayu know if Lyra's investment in Experience Cloud is worth the time and money the company plans to invest? She decides to meet again with Jasper and Alessandra to understand how they want to measure success. As a guy who manages customer relations, Jasper is keen on keeping both individual and business clients happy. He's looking at the following numbers, gathered before and after the implementation of the self-service sites. Number of deflected cases, time spent by a support agent on each case, customer satisfaction, net promoter score, NPS. When all these numbers come together, the Lyra services team can look at overall trends. Are there fewer support cases? Are support costs decreasing? After a few months, Sarayu, Jasper, and Alessandra reconvene and discover that both the individual customer site and business client portals are having an amazing impact. No one is surprised, but everyone is delighted. Sarayu is happy because she's using one system to connect her business processes to external customers. Jasper's thrilled because the cost of closing a case decreased from $55 for a phone case to less than 50 cents for an online interaction. And Alessandra is pleased that group engagement levels are increasing at a steady clip, and folks are helping each other out with difficult questions. Resources. Salesforce Help. Manage customer relationships with Experience Cloud. Salesforce Help. Configure messaging for web deployment in an Experience Builder or Agentforce commerce site.
okay. Going to complete this and then I will take a break. Okay. What matrices are important to the VP support in relation to customer engagement? Number of cases deflection and net promoter score, employee retention, deal registration rate, name of close opportunity. Customer engagement, huh? Number of cases deflected in Net Promoter Score. This is A option. Which Salesforce feature does Lyra Financial use to enhance the customer experience? Agent for service, financial services, agent for sales, and agent for commerce. Agent for commerce, I think so. Hmm. Agent for service. Okay, agent for service. This A option. This is also A. This is also A. Let's check it out. It is correct or not correct. Okay, check it out. A option. Support leader focus on reducing cases volume and measuring customer satisfaction, loyalty, NPS, and employee retention, and deal registration, and close opportunity sales, HR, and matters not support engagement. Which Salesforce features does Lyra financially use to enhance the customer experience? Financial services, financial domain. Lyra financial is financial domain, so they leverage financial services cloud to personalize. So powerful, but their trial solution for financial solution is financial service. Okay. So this is incorrect. Financial service is correct, and check it out. Oh, agent for service. They're right all. No, agent for service is correct. It's okay. Okay. Now this is the last one. I think so. I'm going to read it by increasing the size. Okay, fine.
Engage with your partners, learning objectives. After completing this unit, you'll be able to describe some typical use cases for a partner portal, define measurable goals for a partner portal, list Sales Cloud features that you can use to help your partners. Lyra Financial's partner problem. Lyra Financial is growing fast. In just a year, it expanded its operations in Boulder by 50%. Although the sales folks who work at HQ are fabulous, the company doesn't have enough of them to follow up on every lead, so it's not making as much money as it could. That's a problem that Lyra wants to fix with a robust partner network. Even so, potential partners aren't really lining up to work with Lyra because the company's processes are notoriously complex. For its own sales, service, and marketing needs, Lyra made a substantial investment in Salesforce, but things are a bit of a mess for external resellers. Partners have to make phone calls to confirm all quotes, track data in a mix of Excel and Google spreadsheets, and remember too many distinct logins for archaic systems. To make things worse, partners can't access any of the tools they need on a mobile device. Who wants to deal with that? Definitely not the busy resellers, who maintain partnerships with lots of companies besides Lyra. So Lyra Financial's partner problem is also a growth problem, and SaraU is extra motivated to fix it. Use Experience Cloud to build robust partner relationships. Initially, SaraU was eyeing Experience Cloud for its potential to help customers, but when she chatted with Lyra VP of Channel Sales, Michelle Peterson, she quickly realized how the product helps partners too. Michelle wants partners to sell faster, sell smarter, and collaborate more effectively with channel account managers. To that end, she sets up a meeting with Lyra's biggest partners and asks, how can we help you sell better? The answers are uniform across the board. Partners want access to streamlined onboarding, marketing campaigns and funds, qualified leads, deal registration, opportunity management, easy and quick voting. SaraU's team takes the feedback and decides to set up a partner portal using Partner Central template. The template makes it easy for Lyra to offer its partners the best of Salesforce and add extra features just for them. For example, the Partner Central template includes lead distribution and deal registration, so Lyra partners can be super productive. How do lead distribution and deal registration help partners in Lyra? We're glad you asked. Lead distribution lets Lyra capture leads from its marketing campaigns and website, then pass all the leads to qualified channel partners. This is especially true in those geographic areas where Lyra doesn't have its own sales team. Channel partners, in turn, accelerate their selling process with a trusted source of viable leads. With deal registration, partners can register their deals, both planned and in progress, so Lyra is always knowledgeable about a deal's status. Lyra's VP of Sales, Moira Orlan, knows that both internal sales teams and partners struggle with outdated quoting processes. That's why Moira explores Salesforce CPQ, beginning with the Salesforce CPQ Basics module on Trailhead. CPQ enables Moira's sales teams to generate branded, customized proposals and contracts with a few clicks, rather than dozens of phone calls and hundreds of clicks. Moira knows it's worth the investment to extend CPQ out to partners too. Higher partner productivity and more deals won? Yes, please. By using distributed marketing, Lyra provides pre-packaged campaigns to its partners to help them drive demand, while also protecting the Lyra brand by keeping everyone on the same message. Some partners request market development funds, MDF, or cooperative co-op funds from Lyra to execute their own campaigns. Partners can request, track, and access approved MDF and co-op marketing funds all within Lyra's partner portal. The final demand made by partners is for better onboarding. Let's be honest, it's unfair for Lyra partners to have to compete with the awesome onboarding setup Lyra has for its internal sales teams. So, the Lyra sales onboarding team agrees to make up-to-date product information and sales collateral specific to a reseller's location available in the partner portal. For example, when Lyra resellers in your blogging, they see pertinent localized information on tax laws and pricing, making their onboarding specific to their needs. They also get localized training for certification purposes and a list of nearby certification testing centers. Let's see what this looks like when we put it all together. Check out what Jose Lucio, a channel partner in Guatemala, experiences when logging into Lyra's partner portal. First, he sees a homepage personalized for his partner type and location, value-added resellers in Central and South America. Jose notices some new content, all in Spanish, on improving sales in his area. He then sees a list of leads assigned to him in Guatemala and in Belize. When Jose qualifies one of these leads, Salesforce automatically creates account and contact records in Lyra's org. Jose creates an opportunity record for the lead and sees Lyra's sales process right on the record, so he can track where he is in the opportunity at any moment. He sends an email to the account's main contact straight from the opportunity without having to hunt down any email addresses, and the first interaction is automatically logged into Salesforce. Other partners around the globe have experiences as seamless as Jose's. Now partners are eager to continue collaborating with Lyra. Lyra's definition of success for its partners: measurable results. That's what Sarah, Michelle, and Moira are looking for. But how do they know they've succeeded? Thankfully, they have a lot of numbers to work with. Here's where things stood before we set up the partner portal. Lack of partner engagement, moderate levels of deal registration, yearly sales, $100 million. At the end of the first year of partner site implementation, the numbers far exceeded expectations. A 46% increase in partner engagement, a 33% increase in deal registration, yearly sales, $143 million, an uptick of 43%. Sorry, Michelle, and Moira knew anecdotally that partners like to work with companies that make things easier for them, but they were thrilled to see how that preference also translated into faster deals and added revenue. Everyone wins! Lessons learned. Lyra's experimentation with Experience Cloud is starting to pay big dividends. So far, implementing experiences in the form of sites and portals has been a successful endeavor. At the same time, all the various teams involved in implementation are eager to make them even better. With that aim, they're keeping a close eye on all their metrics and engagement, and always coming up with ideas to improve the audience experience. Resources, Salesforce.
Okay, before Lara sets up a partner portal, why do partner resellers have a difficult time working with the company? Best location. Subpar marketing strategy. Marketing strategy. Subpar marketing strategy. A portal support called HR tickets, net promoter scores, and stuff. Redistribution and deal registration, product feedback. No, a portal for support call and HR tickets. No, a net promoter scores and get some list. Check it out. I'm not able to get much. Yeah, fine. Check it out. Okay, not non-character system. Yo, another is outdated. This guy is the collaboration efficient documentation. Location over and not real bureaucracy. See, lead distribution and deal distribution. Okay, partner center is designed to streamline podcast, don't directly. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. I completed this. Now it's time to continue. Explain cloud basic I done. Agent for service basic I will do. Then agent for sales basic that I will do. Service basic and sales basic. And after that, a lot of things I have to complete. Just site, ideal career in the cloud. Discourse search for foundation, search for user basic, account and contact, exchange basic, search for CRM to grow your business. That's very cool. Okay. Okay, going to start now. Going to start timer as well. I think I am a study. Yeah, fine. So how much I completed? You can see it. 25% completed. 24 hours 15 minutes left. Okay, I'll continue. Before continuing, I thinking to complete the one. I got a one good cause of this certification. Let's go through it, and after doing that, I will continue it. Okay, it will be better. Where is that cause? I think it is here. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I will go through it, and then I will see what to do. Okay. I think let me about the exam. I'll let you so let me show the library. Weekly goal is completed and search for yeah 5 hour course. Let me see it. Okay, this is the course. Okay, let me do it. Okay, fine, fine. Search for certified platform foundation set profession. But I'm thinking to one about the exam. I will learn about it, what the exam is about, and everything. I'm thinking to do some other course now. Yeah. Okay. Going to Unity Hub, and opening here, closing this. Opening a scoring system. Okay. I was doing this. I will continue from here, and It is better to continue from here. So adding a scoring system. Okay. Set a UI, style the level around it. Okay, I have done this. I think so. I style the level I have done. Font size 20. Done that. Get a reference to UI document. Okay, this was doing. Scripting I was doing. Add a variable at UI document. Public UI document, UI document. This thing I was doing.
बनाएंगे इसमें चल रहा है सितारा यूनिटी इंजन के उसमें सेल्फोर्स में पढ़ाने लगेगा किसी को ऑनलाइन टीचिंग भी नहीं शुरू कर दी
No. Add a variable. Select control script. I have to open this.
इसमें ये प्रोजेक्ट है कोई हैं
प्रोजेक्ट है पूरा एक्सरसाइज भी है इसमें
जिसका वो सेल्फोर्स में दिए इतने
हाँ सेल्सफोर्स है काफी अच्छा है वेबसाइट काफी अच्छा है ये
कब कर लिए तुमने थोड़े बच्चे हैं लग
हाँ नहीं काफी बच्चा है इसमें वो काफी लंबा है
रहे लगेंगे 3 4
हाँ इसमें एग्जाम का वेटेज भी लिखा है कि इसमें से कितना वेटेज है इसका कितना वेटेज है Okay, now going to open the play controller script and then I will edit everything according to this. Microsoft Visual Studio is there. Okay. Fine. Now it's time to change according everything. This is my script and the changes that I have to make. Add a variable you open the play control script and here I have to near other variable declaration add the following public update. Okay, I will update after later. Okay, it will take time. Public UI document UI document
What is the ground here?
3. Assign the UI document in the inspector window. Save your script and return to the Unity editor. With the player game object selected in the inspector window, locate the UI document property that now appears in the player controller component. Drag the game UI game object from the hierarchy window into the UI document box.
Okay. Okay, yeah, I have to put here. UI document. Okay, there's the game UI. Oh, game UI, this is okay. This object I have to put here. Game UI is this one. Fine.
Add a scoring system. In many games, scoring helps provide feedback and motivation to players. Note: you must assign the game object from the scene, not the UI layout UXML asset from the project window.
Okay.
After this step, your script has access to the UI and is ready to find and modify specific elements. Score. Set the score text with true score. Now that your script can access the UI document in the scene, the next step is to find the score label inside it and update its text. Add a variable to reference the label. In your player controller script, add the following line of code with your other variables. Note: a label is the specific UI toolkit class used for displaying text. This line prepares a variable to hold the reference to the score label UI element. Initialize the reference inside your start method. Add the following line of code to initialize variable. Explanation: a root visual element gives you access to the top-level container of the UI layout. Label, score label, uses Unity's query system to find the first element of type label with the name score label. Make sure the name exactly matches what you set in UI Builder. Spelling, capitalization, and all. Update the label. Text in update. After you calculate the score equal to line, add the following line of code. Notice that you're now setting the text with the same message that you had previously logged to the console window. Score plus score. Tip.
Okay. Now it is. I save it.
Add a scoring system. In many games, scoring helps provide feedback and motivation to players. In this tutorial, you'll add a basic scoring system to your game that tracks how. Notice that you're now setting the text tip. If the label doesn't update during play mode, double check the following possible causes: that the UI document was assigned to the player game object in the inspector window, that the score label name in the UI builder window exactly matches what you entered in the script. After this step, your score will be displayed live on screen and will update smoothly during gameplay. Scale with screen size. The score
Let me
label
check
looks
out.
fine on your current screen, but if you resize the game view or
So, okay. Sorry. हाँ हाँ मैं पढ़ाई चला पूरे दिन तो फिर चलो
अरे दूध लियो फोन भी अभी
चलो
नहीं दूध लियो
or change aspect ratios, it might shift. The score label looks fine on your current screen, but if you resize the game view or change aspect ratios, it might shift or appear too small. With these settings in place, if someone plays your game in a huge high resolution monitor or on all lower resolution phone, the UI should change in unexpected ways. To address this, you'll adjust the panel settings so your UI scales automatically with the screen. This means making sure your UI remains readable and correct position on end resolution or device. Scale with screen size. 1. Experiment with different game view resolutions. In the game view, use the aspect ratio dropdown to select a few different screen resolutions. Notice that the score text gets smaller and changes position at higher resolutions. 2. Select the panel settings asset. In the project window, locate the panel settings asset that was automatically created when you added the UI document to scene. It's usually inside a folder called UI Toolkit or next to your UI layout asset. Tip. You can search the entire asset folder using search bar. 3. Set it to scale with screen size. With the panel settings asset.
no, it's fine. No, make it full again. Okay, you can change the full data. Finish now. Go. Scale with screen size. Fine. Minus 16. 6. 747. 600. 600. Fine. Okay, now you can check it again. Oh, that's right. Record, just skip item. The plot. That's what you given. Left time score. What I can do, just copy it. Control Z, Control Z. Nice. Now everything is working good. I think so. Now and is okay. Okay, let me do it. Like update. There are two methods we are using here. Update score. Move left. There's a move left. Move left is here. Update score.
To challenge yourself, build your skills, and improve your project. Each challenge is tagged as easy, medium, or expert difficulty so that you know what to expect. You can complete one, all, or none of them. It's totally up to you. If you're not interested in doing these challenges, mark this step as complete and proceed to the next tutorial. Easy, clean up the update method. Make your player controller script easier to read by splitting update.
Okay, fine. Fine. Now change it to here. Okay. Save it. वो बनाना है ऐसा. Overfit is an area outline and round out corners. So here again. Okay. Blue is not border property. Yeah.
And maintain. Medium, customize the score text box. UI Toolkit allows you many more options for styling UI elements. With these tools, you can make your score stand out even more. Experiment with the border property. You can add an outline and round out the corners. Experiment with the background property. You can set the color to something semi-transparent so you can still see the obstacles behind it. Note:
This is better. Okay. Oh, right. Okay. Relation to 0.25. Okay. Okay, fine.
Shape and randomization. 1. Configure the emission burst. Now that you've got a basic particle system in place, you'll enhance it by adjusting how the particles are emitted and how they spread. In this step, you'll create a short burst of particles, change the emission shape from a cone to a sphere, and add randomness to make the explosion look more dynamic. With the explosion effect game object selected in the hierarchy window, select the emission section in the sector window to expand it. Select the ADD.
Okay. So, okay, I'll continue from here after some time. I'm going to save it and do it. Okay, and fine. Yeah. वो लाइट करनी है पूरे दिन ये जब पढ़ने लगता है ना तो खुद पूरे दिन लाइट करनी है पूरे दिन तो पढ़ा है लाइट करनी हाँ काम तो है बनी कि फिरे गिरे आंगली हर करे हैं सर हैं चला चल 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 पर लाई प्रोजेक्ट आधा छोड़ दिए पूरा बना दो पण नाम कोई सर की कर जे पसंद थोड़ा था अगरबत्ती कर आधा घंटा बाद में घूम जाता दूध लिया जो क्या पड़ गया नहीं पूरा कर जे किया अदर छोड़ना हां बाहर घूम रहा हूं अपन कहीं वो कहीं गात ले लगा ठीक है सर।
खाके जाए कौन जाए मांस खाके जाए
ठीक है, ओके, चलो ठीक है, बंद कर दो, वो फिर डिस्चार्ज हो जाएगा। यहाँ बंद कर दो, बंद कर दो जरा।
bursts property to add a new burst. Set the count to something like 50.
Count 50.
50. Note: a burst emits all the particles at once instead of gradually over time. Perfect for explosions. 2. Change the shape of the particle spread. Select the shape module to expand it. Change the shape property from cone cone to sphere. 3. Add randomness to particle size. In the explosion effects section, open the start size dropdown and select random between two constants. Constants. Set the range to something like 0 to 0.25. Tip: small, randomized particles help make the explosion look more organic and less uniform. After this step, your explosion help make the explosion look more organic and less uniform. After this step, your explosion will feel much more satisfying. A quick, randomized burst that's ready to be initiated whenever the player is destroyed. Now that your explosion looks the way you want, you'll turn it into a prefab. Prefab. 1. Turn explosion effect into a prefab. 4. Make the explosion a prefab. Now that your explosion looks the way you want, you'll turn it into a prefab, a reusable game object template. Prefabs are essential when you want to create and reuse the same game object multiple times in your game, like spawning an explosion every time the player is destroyed. Drag the explosion effect game object from the hierarchy window into the prefabs folder in the project window. You'll see the name turn blue in the hierarchy window. indicating the explosion effect game object is now an instance of a prefab. 2. Clean up the scene. After confirming the prefab was created, delete the explosion effect game object from the hierarchy window. You'll spawn it from code later. Note: when a game object is saved as a prefab, you can safely delete it from the scene. You'll still be able to access and instantiate it during gameplay using scripts. Add a public reference to the explosion effect prefab. 5. Trigger the explosion from your script. 5. Trigger the explosion from your script. Now that your explosion is a prefab, you'll trigger it from code when the player is destroyed. You'll use Unity's instantiate method to create a copy of the prefab at the player game object's position right before it disappears. To do this, you'll add a reference to the prefab in your script and assign it using the inspector window. Open the player controller script. Near your other variable declarations, add the following line of code. Note:
One second, I don't know what does it. The problem. Yes, yes, yes. To sum at two numbers. Okay. Option is not defined. One minute. It's fine. It's good. Okay, you get everything here. Oh yeah. And now I go to GitHub. First one I was putting. Now is already post. I think git add or the solution. I think it's you can see no yeah this area.
Note: declaring the variable as public makes it visible in the inspector window so you can assign the prefab without needing to find. Instantiate, explosion effect, transform, position, transform, rotation. Transform.position places the explosion effect prefab where the player game object is, and transform. Rotation sets its rotation to match the player game object's rotation. However, since the particle system is in the shape of the sphere, its rotation actually doesn't matter. 3. Assign the prefab in the inspector window and test. In the hierarchy window, select the player game.
It's loading. Hold on.
Game object. In the inspector window, locate the player controller script component. Drag the explosion effect prefab from the project window into the explosion effect box. Enter play mode to test your explosion. Tip: if you forget this step, the explosion won't appear. Unity can't instantiate a prefab it doesn't know about. The explosion effect now plays when the player game object is destroyed, giving instant visual feedback and making the collision event feel more complete. Six. Add and style the restart button. After the player explodes, you'll want to give them a clear, easy way to try again. In this step, you'll add a restart button to your existing UI document, position it near the center of the screen, and apply some basic styling to make it visible and clickable. On times. 1. Open your UI layout in UI Builder. In the project window, double-click the UI layout asset to open it in the UI Builder window. 2. Add a new button to the UI. From the library window, drag a button element.
आज के इस वीडियो में हम लोग समझेंगे कि डेटा साइंस क्या है और क्यों आप लोगों को डेटा साइंस के लिए इवन केयर भी करना चाहिए। बहुत सारे लोग डेटा साइंस को कॉलेज में सिर्फ मार्क्स लाने के लिए या फिर किसी एक जॉब इंटरव्यू में अच्छा परफॉर्म करने के लिए सीखते हैं, लेकिन मैं आप लोगों को इस वीडियो के थ्रू भरोसा दिलाना चाहता हूं कि डेटा साइंस इज द फ्यूचर और आज की तारीख में जो डिमांड डेटा साइंस की आप लोग देख रहे हैं उससे कई ज्यादा होने वाली है। कोर्स के अंदर एंड टू एंड डेटा साइंस तो आप लोगों को सिखाऊंगा ही, लेकिन उसी के साथ साथ पहले मैं आप लोगों को ये बताना चाहता हूं कि जो आप सीखने वाले हैं वो कैसे आपके लिए और जिस भी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के लिए आप काम करेंगे उसके लिए लाइफ चेंजिंग हो सकता है। किसी भी चीज को पढ़ने से पहले मैं बेसिक्स पर जाना पसंद करता हूं और यहां पर भी मैं बेसिक्स पर आऊंगा कि व्हाट इज डेटा साइंस। डेटा साइंस है क्या? अगर बहुत ही सिंपल लैंग्वेज में बात करूं तो डेटा साइंस इज द प्रोसेस ऑफ कलेक्टिंग, क्लीनिंग, एनालाइजिंग एंड इंटरप्रेटिंग डेटा टू मेक इन्फॉर्म्ड डिसीजंस। आज की तारीख में हमारे पास बहुत सारा डेटा है और आने वाले समय में ये डेटा और भी ज्यादा बढ़ने वाला है। ऐसे में इस तरह का डेटा हमारे किसी काम का नहीं है जब तक हम उसको एनालाइज ना कर पाए। एक डेटा साइंटिस्ट का काम होता है रॉ डेटा को क्लीन करना, समझना और उससे मीनिंगफुल इनसाइट्स निकालना। अब डेटा साइंस इंपॉर्टेंट क्यों है? डेटा साइंस इंपॉर्टेंट है क्योंकि डेटा इज एवरीवेयर और आज की तारीख में जेन एआई में जो हम रिवॉल्यूशन देख रहे हैं और उसी के साथ साथ हम लोग एआई एमएल को इतनी तेजी से बढ़ते हुए देख रहे हैं, वो सब डेटा की वजह से ही मुमकिन हो पाया है। जस्ट बिकॉज हम डेटा कलेक्ट कर पा रहे हैं, उस डेटा को क्लीन कर पा रहे हैं, उस डेटा को एनालाइज कर पा रहे हैं और इस तरह के के LLMs को फीड कर पा रहे हैं, यही वजह है इतने इफेक्टिव जनरेटिव एआईज बनने की। अगर हम लोग मशीन लर्निंग के ब्रेकथ्रूज की भी बात करें तो इट ऑल बॉइल्स डाउन टू डेटा। जितना बढ़िया डेटा आप फीड करोगे मशीन लर्निंग एल्गोरिथम्स को, उतना अच्छा आपका एल्गोरिथम काम करेगा। अब डेटा इज एवरीवेयर, चाहे वो आपके स्टॉक मार्केट का डेटा हो, चाहे वो वेदर का डेटा हो, या फिर वो आपके द्वारा ब्राउज किए हुए YouTube वीडियोस का डेटा हो। इस तरह के डेटा को कलेक्ट करना तो आसान है, लेकिन जब इसके एनालिसिस की बात आती है और इस तरह के एनालिसिस की बात आती है कि आप उस एनालिसिस को ऑप्टिमली करें और जो इन्फॉर्मेशन आपको चाहिए उस डेटा से वो अच्छी तरह से निकाल पाए, डेटा साइंटिस्ट का यही काम होता है। इस तरह के कामों को इफेक्टिवली डेटा साइंटिस्ट कर पाता है। एंड क्योंकि ये वन ऑफ द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट स्टेप्स है किसी भी एक बड़ी मशीन लर्निंग पाइपलाइन की, या मैं कहूंगा किसी भी बड़ी आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस पाइपलाइन की, डेटा साइंटिस्ट डिमांड में है और आने वाले टाइम में डिमांड और भी बढ़ने वाली है। अब मैं आप लोगों को बताना चाहता हूं कि मैंने आप लोगों के लिए इस कोर्स में एक हैंडबुक प्रिपेयर की है। जो भी मैं आप लोगों को पढ़ाने वाला हूं उसकी आपको मिलने वाली है हैंडबुक, ताकि आप अपना टाइम वेस्ट ना करें नोट्स लेने में, आप सिर्फ चीजों को समझें, ग्रास्प करें, प्रैक्टिस करें, और आपको नोट्स देने की जिम्मेदारी मेरी। जैसे कि आप देख सकते हैं मैंने ये हैंडबुक आपके लिए प्रिपेयर की हुई है। ऑलमोस्ट हर वीडियो के करस्पॉन्डिंग आपको एक हैंडबुक मिलेगी जो कि आपको रिवीजन में हेल्प करेगी। जो भी आप इस कोर्स से लेने वाले हैं, सीखने वाले हैं, वो सब आपको इस हैंडबुक में मिलेगा। लेट्स टॉक अबाउट की स्टेप्स इन डेटा साइंस। अगर मैं डेटा साइंस की की स्टेप्स की बात करूं तो पहली स्टेप है डेटा कलेक्शन। पहला स्टेप हमेशा डेटा कलेक्शन होने वाला है, फिर चाहे वो वेदर का डेटा हो, या वो वेबसाइट हिस्ट्री का डेटा हो, या फिर वेबसाइट पे एक यूजर ने क्या एक्शन लिया इस चीज का डेटा हो। सबसे पहले डेटा को कलेक्ट करना होगा और नंबर्स में लेकर अपने प्रोग्राम में लाना होगा। दूसरा स्टेप काफी इंपॉर्टेंट है, वो है डेटा क्लीनिंग। अब आपको जो मिलता है वो होता है डेटा डंप। तो व्हाट इज दिस डेटा डंप? डेटा डंप का मतलब होता है कि आपके ऊपर डेटा फेंक कर मार दिया गया है, ये एक डंप है, ये एक रॉ डेटा है, इसको क्लीन नहीं किया गया है, बिना किसी टेंशन के आपको डेटा पकड़ा दिया गया है। हाँ, वो डेटा तो पूरा है, ऑर्गेनाइज नहीं है, क्लीन नहीं है, आपकी जिम्मेदारी है सब कुछ करना, इसे कहते हैं डेटा डंप। अगर आपने थोड़ा सा भी डेटा के साथ काम किया तो आपने ये टर्म जरूर सुना होगा, डेटा डंप। और इस डेटा डंप को क्लीन करना ही इन मोस्ट ऑफ द केसेस डेटा साइंटिस्ट का 80% ऑफ द टाइम खा जाता है। फिर इसके बाद तीसरी स्टेप आती है डेटा एनालिसिस। आप लोग स्टैटिस्टिकल मेथड्स लगाते हैं डेटा से मीनिंगफुल इनसाइट्स निकालने के लिए। एंड देन स्टेप 4 इज मॉडल बिल्डिंग। आप एक मॉडल बिल्ड करते हैं, एक पैटर्न रिकॉग्निशन के लिए प्रोसेस बिल्ड करते हैं, और वो प्रोसेस फिर आप लोगों को उस डेटा से मीनिंगफुल इनसाइट्स निकालने में हेल्प करती है। और स्टेप 5 होती है इंटरप्रिटेशन एंड कम्युनिकेशन। आप लोगों ने मॉडल बना लिया, डेटा क्लीन कर लिया, सब कुछ डन है, उसके बाद अब आप लोगों को लेना है एक्शन कि ठीक है हमारे पास वेदर का डेटा है, या मान लो हमारे पास स्टॉक मार्केट का डेटा है, हमारा मॉडल कहता है स्टॉक XYZ की इतनी क्वांटिटी को बाय कर दिया जाए इतने स्टॉप लॉस के साथ। आप इस चीज को कम्युनिकेट करोगे ताकि रिस्पांसिबल पार्टी एक्शन ले पाए। तो ये होता है ओवरऑल डिसीजन मेकिंग की स्टेप। अब डेटा साइंस एक्शन में हमें कहां-कहां दिखती है? हेल्थ केयर में डेटा साइंस बहुत ज्यादा लग चुकी है, बट बहुत ज्यादा काम बाकी है। आने वाले टाइम में आप जनरेटिव एआई देखने वाले हैं जो कि पूरी सर्जरी करेंगे एंड टू एंड, और इस पर काम ऑलरेडी चालू हो चुका है। हम में से किसी ने भी कुछ सालों पहले नहीं सोचा था कि ChatGPT जैसा, ग्रॉक एआई जैसा, या फिर डीपसीक जैसा एआई इतना बढ़िया टेक्स्ट जनरेट करेगा, और बढ़िया ही नहीं हेल्पफुल टेक्स्ट जनरेट करेगा, एंड समटाइम्स कुछ ऐसे काम करेगा जो कि इंसान ने करना सोचा भी नहीं था। तो हेल्थ केयर इज समथिंग जिस पर काम चल रहा है, बहुत ज्यादा काम हो चुका है, और आने वाले टाइम में हमको बहुत अच्छी चीजें देखने को मिलेंगी। बट इससे भी अच्छी बात क्या है, जब हेल्थ केयर में ये सारी चीजें इंप्लीमेंट की जाएंगी तो काम कौन करेगा? काम करेंगे डेटा साइंटिस्ट। वो डेटा साइंटिस्ट जो कि इस फील्ड को अच्छे से समझते हैं, इन कामों को अच्छे से समझते हैं, बेसिक्स को अच्छे से समझते हैं। तभी मैंने आपसे कहा कि आने वाले टाइम में डेटा साइंटिस्ट की डिमांड बहुत ज्यादा बढ़ने वाली है। फिर इसके बाद दूसरा है ई-कॉमर्स, जिस पर ऑलरेडी डेटा साइंस एक्सटेंसिवली यूज होती है। हम चाहे बात करें Amazon की, या फ्लिपकार्ट की, या किसी भी और ई-कॉमर्स प्लेटफॉर्म की, अगर डेटा साइंस यूज नहीं हो रही है तो वो ई-कॉमर्स प्लेटफॉर्म कभी सक्सेसफुल नहीं हो सकता। इन मोस्ट ऑफ द केसेस इस तरह के मार्केट प्लेसेस डेटा साइंस को बहुत अच्छी तरह से उपयोग में लेते हैं, और आज की तारीख में ये जनरेटिव एआई का भी इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं। फॉर एग्जांपल मैं आप लोगों को बताता हूं कि Amazon पे अगर आप लोग जाते हो, किसी भी प्रोडक्ट के रिव्यूज पढ़ते हो, तो वहां पर आप लोगों को रिव्यू की समरी देखने को मिलती है कि भाई कस्टमर्स ने ये बोला इस प्रोडक्ट के बारे में। अब आप एज अ ह्यूमन 10,000 कमेंट्स तो नहीं पढ़ सकते ना जो लोगों ने रिव्यूज के फॉर्म में दिए हैं, लेकिन जनरेटिव एआई उन 10,000 कमेंट्स को स्कैन करके क्या बात बोल रहे हैं मोस्ट ऑफ द पीपल एक समरी में आपको बता सकता है। और इस तरह के जनरेटिव एआई को बनाने के लिए जो डेटा लगता है उसको डेटा साइंटिस्ट ही क्लीन करते हैं, मॉडल बिल्डिंग डेटा साइंटिस्ट ही करते हैं। इसके बाद तीसरी फील्ड जहां पर डेटा साइंस बहुत ज्यादा इस्तेमाल होता है वो है फाइनेंस। चाहे वो फ्रॉड ट्रांजैक्शंस को डिटेक्ट करने की बात हो, या फिर वो कहां इन्वेस्ट करना है ये फाइंड आउट करने की बात हो। कभी भी मुझे एक पर्टिकुलर इनसाइट चाहिए, जैसे कि निफ्टी ने पिछले 15 साल में कितना CAGR दिया, कितने % का एवरेज रिटर्न दिया, ये मुझे अगर पता करना है तो आज की तारीख में मैं क्विकली पता कर सकता हूं यूजिंग डेटा साइंस मॉडल्स। फिर इसके बाद एंटरटेनमेंट, हम YouTube देखते हैं, हम Netflix देखते हैं, वहां पर आप लोगों को बहुत ही सटीक रिकमेंडेशंस देखने को मिलती है कि भाई आपने ये देखा, ये वीडियो आपको पसंद है, आपको ये म्यूजिक पसंद है, एंड देयर इज अ हाई चांस कि आपको ये वाला वीडियो भी पसंद होगा, एंड द रिकमेंडर सिस्टम डज अ ग्रेट जॉब इन डूइंग दैट। आपको रिकमेंड करके दे देता है और आपको पसंद भी आता है। ओवरऑल उसका जो अपना मोटिव होता है वो ये होता है आपको ऐसे वीडियोस रिकमेंड करें जो कि आप वॉच करो, और आप करते भी हो। वी ऑल हैव सीन दैट। नाउ व्हाई शुड यू इवन केयर अबाउट डेटा साइंस? सबसे पहले मैं बार-बार बोल रहा हूं, दोबारा बोलूंगा, हाई डिमांड है। डेटा साइंटिस्ट की डिमांड आने वाले टाइम में बढ़ने वाली है। जहां लोग कहते हैं कि दूसरी फील्ड्स में जॉब लोगों की चली जाएंगी या फिर लोग कम चाहिए होंगे, ये एक ऐसी फील्ड है जिसमें मैं प्राउडली बोल सकता हूं कि आने वाले टाइम में लोग ज्यादा चाहिए होंगे। इसके बाद ग्रेट पे, जब डिमांड ज्यादा होगी, सप्लाई कम होगी, खासकर अच्छे डेटा साइंटिस्ट की, तो डेफिनेटली आपको पेमेंट अच्छा देखने को मिलेगा। वहां पर सैलरीज आप लोगों को काफी लुक्रेटिव देखने को मिलेंगी। एवरेज सैलरी की बात करूं तो $120,000 पर ईयर एक एवरेज फिगर है डेटा साइंटिस्ट का, और इंडिया में अगर बात करूं तो 10 से 30 लाख पर एनम जाता है अच्छे डेटा साइंटिस्ट के लिए। बट आई हैव माई सेल्फ सीन पीपल मेकिंग 1 CR पर एनम, 2 CR पर एनम एज अ डेटा साइंटिस्ट। तो कोई लिमिट नहीं है, आप कितना बढ़िया कर सकते हैं। हो सकता है कि आप इतने कैपेबल हो जाएं कि आप दूसरा अपना खुद का स्टार्टअप खड़ा कर पाए, तो कंपनी आपको और ज्यादा पे करेगी कि यार ये इंसान इतना टैलेंटेड है, व्हाई शुड वी नॉट पे हिम मोर। फिर इसके बाद फ्यूचर प्रूफ करियर, जहां लोग कहते हैं फ्रंट एंड डेव्स की जॉब चली जाएगी, बैक एंड डेव्स की जॉब चली जाएगी, जो डीएसए कर रहा है वो रेलेवेंट नहीं रहेगा। लेकिन यहां पर कोई ऐसा नहीं बोल सकता आज की तारीख में कि आने वाले टाइम में डेटा साइंस की जॉब चली जाएगी। डेटा साइंटिस्ट की जॉब नियर फ्यूचर में तो बिल्कुल नहीं जाने वाली। देयर इज अ गुड चांस कि आने वाले टाइम में डेटा साइंटिस्ट की जॉब इतनी ज्यादा डिमांड में होगी, इतनी ज्यादा डिमांड में होगी कि वी विल सी एक्सपोनेंशियल इंक्रीज इन सैलरीज। और उसका रीजन क्या है? आज की तारीख में हर कंपनी एआई इंप्लीमेंट करना चाहती है। आज की तारीख में हर कंपनी अपने प्रोडक्ट्स में जेन एआई, डेटा साइंस की टेक्निक्स, वो टेक्निक्स जो कि उनको स्टेट ऑफ द आर्ट टेक्नोलॉजी से कंपैटिबल बनाती है वो सब इंप्लीमेंट करना चाहती है, क्योंकि आज की तारीख में मोस्ट ऑफ द कंपनीज आर एट द रिस्क ऑफ गोइंग बैंकरप्ट बिकॉज़ ऑफ अगर उन्होंने इस टेक्नोलॉजी सही से नहीं किया तो उनका खुद का बिजनेस खतरे में। देयर आर टन्स ऑफ लेवल्स ऑफ दिस। सो ऑल इन ऑल अगर आप लोग डेटा साइंस सीखने का कांग्रेचुलेशंस, आपने जिंदगी का बहुत अच्छा डिसीजन लिया है और इस कोर्स में मेरी कोशिश रहेगी कि आप डेटा साइंस आई होप आप लोग सारे कोर्सेज सो फार। सी यू नेक्स्ट वीडियो। सो गाइस आई एम मेकिंग दिस वीडियो क्योंकि ये क्वेश्चन बहुत ज्यादा आ रहा था कि हाउ टू एक्सेस दी हैंडबुक को कैसे एक्सेस करें। तो मैं आप लोगों को बता दूं कि आप लोग इस कोर्स के पेज पर जब आएंगे तो आपको सेक्शंस में जो है लेक्चर स्प्लिटेड मिलेंगे। तो मैंने यहाँ पर अलग अलग सेक्शंस बना रखे हैं और सेक्शन के अंदर लेक्चर्स हैं। आप किसी भी सेक्शन के लास्ट लेक्चर जाएंगे और नीचे स्क्रॉल करेंगे तो आपको हैंडबुक को डाउनलोड करने का लिंक मिल जाएगा। तो हर पर्टिकुलर सेक्शन में अलग से हैंडबुक रखी है एंड एक बार ये कोर्स कंप्लीट हो जाता है टुवर्ड्स द एंड एट द स्टार्टिंग पब्लिक कंसोलिडेटेड हैंडबुक मिलेगी। बट करंटली जैसे जैसे कंप्लीट है आपको लास्ट वीडियो ऑफ द सेक्शन में एक हैंडबुक का लिंक मिलेगा जिसको आप डाउनलोड कर सकते हैं। उसी के साथ सारे कोर्स जिप नोटबुक्स और कोई ऐसी रिलेवेंट चीज जो कि जरूरी है वो मैंने किया है यहाँ पर डिस्क्रिप्शन के अंदर। मेक श्योर कि आप इसको पढ़ें जरूर क्योंकि मैंने लॉन्ग वीडियोस पर काफी मेहनत करके इंफॉर्मेटिव कंटेंट लाया। आप सारी यूजफुल लिंक्स मिलेंगे, आपको सारी डाउनलोड इंस्ट्रक्शंस मिलेंगे, सारी जुपिटर नोटबुक्स, पाइथन कोड्स, कोई डेटा की फाइल्स आपको यहाँ पर मिलेगा। आई होप दैट हेल्प्स। सी यू इन द नेक्स्ट वीडियो। वेलकम बैक टू दिस कोर्स गाइस। ये जो डेटा साइंस की लाइफ साइकिल होती है ना, इसको समझना एक सक्सेसफुल डेटा साइंटिस्ट के लिए बहुत ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है। इसीलिए मैं थोड़ा सा टाइम स्पेंड करना चाहूंगा आप लोग को एक्सप्लेन करने के लिए कि ये जो ओवरऑल डेटा साइंस की लाइफ साइकिल है वो क्या होती है। हमने ऑलरेडी समझा डेटा साइंस क्या होता है। मैं आप लोगों के लिए एकदम अच्छी सी हैंडबुक रेडी कर रहा हूँ, तो आप लोगों को नोट्स वगैरह लेने की बिल्कुल जरूरत नहीं है। दोबारा से रिमाइंड करना चाहता हूँ, ये हैंडबुक आप लोगों के बहुत काम आने वाली है। अब मैं आगे बढ़ने से पहले ना आप लोगों को डेटा साइंस का एक वैन डायग्राम दिखाना चाहता हूं जो कि काफी फेमस है। तो कहा यह जाता है इस वेन डायग्राम के हिसाब से कि जो डेटा साइंस होती है ना, इट्स मिक्स ऑफ हैकिंग स्किल्स, मैथ एंड स्टैटिस्टिकल नॉलेज एंड सब्सटेंटिव एक्सपर्टीज। एक्सप्लेन करता हूं आप लोगों को क्या है कि जो डेटा साइंस है वो इन तीनों का कॉम्बिनेशन है, ऐसा कहा जाता है। अब हैकिंग स्किल्स क्या है कि आपकी टेक्निक कितनी अच्छी है, आप कौन सी टेक्निक को कहां पर लगाते हैं, ओवरऑल आप कैसे कौन से टूल को इस्तेमाल करके कौन सी प्रॉब्लम को सॉल्व कर रहे हैं, ये आपका टैलेंट होता है, आपकी क्रिएटिविटी होती है, कितनी आउट ऑफ द बॉक्स थिंकिंग आप कर सकते हैं, वो आता है हैकिंग स्किल्स के अंदर। फिर मैथ एंड स्टैटिस्टिकल नॉलेज तो आपको बताएगी भाई कितनी लीनियर अलजेब्रा आपको आती है, कितनी मैट्रिसेस, डिटरमिनेंट्स, आइगन वैल्यूज, प्रोबेबिलिटी, बेस थ्योरम, ये जो सारे प्रोबेबिलिटी एंड स्टैटिस्टिक्स के कांसेप्ट हैं वो सारे इसके अंदर आते हैं। फिर सब्सटेंटिव एक्सपर्टीज क्या होता है, ये वो एक्सपर्टीज है जो कि एक पर्टिकुलर डोमेन के अंदर होती है। फॉर एग्जांपल मान लो कि मैं माइनिंग करता हूं तो मुझे पता है कि माइनिंग से रिलेटेड कौन सा डेटा निकाला जा सकता है, या फिर मान लो कि मैं काम करता हूं टक इंडस्ट्री में तो मुझे पता है कि कौन से डेटा पॉइंट्स को कैसे कलेक्ट किया जा सकता है, कौन से डेटा पॉइंट्स रेलेवेंट है। मान लो मैं म्यूजिक प्रोड्यूस करता हूं और आप लोग को बनाना है एक एआई म्यूजिक जनरेटर, तो आप मेरे पास आओगे क्योंकि मैं म्यूजिक का मास्टर हूं और मुझसे पूछोगे, एक म्यूजिशियन से पूछोगे जो म्यूजिक बनाता है उससे पूछोगे कि भाई आप म्यूजिक कैसे बनाते हो, क्या डेटा पॉइंट्स कलेक्ट किए जा सकते हैं सक्सेसफुल म्यूजिक को एआई के थ्रू जनरेट करने में। तो एक सब्सटेंटिव एक्सपर्टीज के अंदर आता है कि आप एक पर्टिकुलर डोमेन के बारे में क्या जानते हैं। आप किसी भी तरह की साइंस प्रॉब्लम में चले जाएं, आपको उस डोमेन के एक्सपर्ट से बात करनी पड़ेगी क्योंकि वो डोमेन का एक्सपर्ट आपको बताएगा कि कौन सा डेटा पॉइंट इंपॉर्टेंट है और कौन सा डेटा पॉइंट कैसे कलेक्ट किया जा सकता है। तो ये वेन डायग्राम काफी डिस्कस किया जाता है डेटा साइंस के कॉन्टेक्स्ट में। इस डायग्राम के बारे में सबसे पहले ड्रू कॉनवॉय नाम के एक ऑथर ने बताया था और उसके बाद ये बहुत ज्यादा पॉपुलर हो गया, तो सोचा आपके साथ डिस्कस कर दूं। हम वापस आते हैं डेटा साइंस की लाइफ साइकिल पर कि डेटा साइंस क्या होता है और ओवरऑल जो डेटा साइंस की लाइफ साइकिल होती है वो कैसी दिखती है। अब देखो एक बात तो आपको पता होगी कि जो डेटा है वो कंटिन्यूअसली कलेक्ट किया जा रहा है, अलग अलग सिस्टम्स के द्वारा आप प्रोड्यूस कर रहे हैं डेटा, जैसे टाइम पास होता जा रहा है डेटा बढ़ता जा रहा है। अब उस डेटा में से इनसाइट्स को एक्सट्रैक्ट करने के लिए हम लोग डेटा साइंस लाइफ साइकिल को स्टडी करते हैं। डेटा से लेकर इनसाइट्स तक पहुंचने के लिए ये कुछ एक्शनेबल स्टेप्स होती हैं जो कि एक डेटा साइंटिस्ट लेता है। इसमें जो सबसे पहली स्टेप होती है वो होती है प्रॉब्लम डेफिनेशन, कि आप लोग अंडरस्टैंड करें अपनी प्रॉब्लम को, समझें कि भाई क्या सॉल्व कर रहे हैं, किस चीज के लिए सॉल्व कर रहे हैं। फॉर एग्जांपल अगर आप लोगों के पास एक फेसबुक ग्राफ का डेटा है तो आप लोग क्या करना चाहते हैं उस डेटा के साथ, कि आप ये समझना चाहते हैं कि दो लोग एक दूसरे से किस तरह से कनेक्टेड हैं, या फिर आप उन लोगों को रेलेवेंट एड्स दिखाना चाहते हैं। तो सबसे पहले आपको अपनी प्रॉब्लम को समझना है कि एज पार्ट ऑफ द प्रॉब्लम आप क्या-क्या सॉल्व करोगे एंड क्या-क्या सॉल्व नहीं करोगे। दिस इज आल्सो इंपॉर्टेंट, क्या-क्या सॉल्व आप नहीं करोगे, क्या चीज आउट ऑफ स्कोप ऑफ द प्रोजेक्ट है। फॉर एग्जांपल अगर हम लोग फेसबुक के ग्राफ की बात कर रहे हैं और अगर हम एक इंसान के कौन-कौन से पोटेंशियल फ्रेंड्स हो सकते हैं जिनको वो जानता है, पीपल हु मे नो के तौर पे जो आप लोग सोशल नेटवर्क पे देखते हो, अगर हम वो पीपल ढूंढ रहे हैं तो हम एडवर्टाइजर्स की बात नहीं करेंगे, ना ही हम उन लोगों के इंटरेस्ट की बात करेंगे, हम कोई एक ऐसा काम नहीं करेंगे जो आउट ऑफ द स्कोप ऑफ प्रॉब्लम है। तो ये पार्ट प्रॉब्लम डेफिनेशन के अंदर आता है। प्रॉब्लम को डिफाइन करो, क्या सॉल्व करना है इसके बारे में क्लियर हो जाओ। इसके बाद दूसरा जो स्टेप है सबसे ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट, डेटा कलेक्शन, रेलेवेंट डेटा पॉइंट्स को कलेक्ट करना। फॉर एग्जांपल अगर आप लोग एक यूजर बिहेवियर को मॉनिटर करना चाहते हो तो मे बी आप लोग चाहोगे वो यूजर किस तरह से आपकी वेबसाइट पर एक्शंस ले रहा है, क्लिक कर रहा है, एक्टिविटीज कर रहा है, ये सब आप लोग कलेक्ट करोगे एज पार्ट ऑफ योर डेटा। डेटा कलेक्शन के बाद आता है डेटा क्लीनिंग, जिसको डेटा प्री प्रोसेसिंग भी कहते हैं। आप लोगों के पास कुछ डेटा आएगा जिसमें से कुछ चीजें रेलेवेंट होंगी, कुछ चीजें इररेलेवेंट होंगी, कभी-कभी आपका डेटा इनकम्प्लीट होगा। फॉर एग्जांपल मान मान लो आप लोग टेम्परेचर सेंसर के थ्रू टेम्परेचर ले रहे हैं अलग अलग डेट्स के अलग अलग टाइम्स पे। कभी कभी आपने देखा कि सेंसर ने रिपोर्ट नहीं किया दोपहर का टेम्परेचर कुछ डेज में, तो ये मिसिंग वैल्यूज होगी। कभी कभी आपके डेटा में इनकंसिस्टेंसी है, जैसे कि मान लो आपके सेंसर ने बता दिया कि 4200 डिग्री सेल्सियस टेम्परेचर है, विच इज टोटली रॉन्ग। इट माइट बी सेंसर एरर, इट माइट बी कलेक्शन एरर, आपकी डेटा कलेक्शन पाइपलाइन में वो एरर हो सकता है। बट अगर हम लोगों को इस तरह के डेटा पॉइंट्स मिलते हैं जो कि सेंस नहीं बना रहे हैं, इनकम्प्लीट है, तो हमें उनको रिजॉल्व करना पड़ेगा। एंड दिस इज व्हाट कम्स अंडर डेटा प्री प्रोसेसिंग। एक फन फैक्ट आप लोगों को बताता हूं, जो डेटा साइंटिस्ट होते हैं ना, वो 80% ऑफ द टाइम अपना इस पर्टिकुलर स्टेप में स्पेंड करते हैं फॉर मोस्ट ऑफ द प्रॉब्लम्स। अब अलग अलग प्रॉब्लम्स की अलग अलग डिमांड्स होती हैं, बट इन जनरल 80% ऑफ द टाइम डेटा साइंस आप 80% ही जाता है, क्योंकि इनिशियल डेटा अवेलेबल होता है, उसको डेटा कम होते हैं। डेटा का मतलब ऐसा है, कुछ आपकी डेटा पाइपलाइन में डेटा नहीं हो सकता, उसको आपको क्लीन करना पड़ेगा, पर्टिकुलर स्ट्रक्चर में फॉर्मेट करना पड़ेगा। इसके बाद आता है डेटा एक्सप्लोरेशन, ये एक्सप्लोरेटरी डेटा एनालिसिस। अब ये क्या होता है? एक्सप्लोरेटरी एनालिसिस के अंदर आप ऊपर से डेटा एक्सप्लोर करते हैं, सबसे होगी आपके डेटा में किस तरह के कितने डेटा पॉइंट्स हैं, एवरेज चीजों का क्या है, मान लो टेंपरेचर क्या देखना चाहिए, एवरेज दोपहर में क्या रहता है, काउंट ऑफ नंबर वैल्यूज ऑफ कितना है, काउंट ऑफ पर्टिकुलर डेट कितना है। फॉर एग्जांपल बात करें 28 तारीख की, 30 का डेटा कलेक्ट किया, 28 तारीख की सारी किस तरह चेक कर सकते हैं, एंड डेटा की समरी को देख सकते हैं, चीजों भी देख सकते हैं, चीजों विजुअलाइज करने के लिए टूल्स लाइक मैटप्लॉट सीबो, जिसको आगे देखेंगे। अच्छा डिटेल में इसका नेक्स्ट स्टेप इज मॉडल। अब मॉडल मतलब ये नहीं है कि मशीन लर्निंग मॉडल चलेगा, ये मॉडल किसी होता है, इट कैन एज सिंपल एज पाइथन फंक्शन। आपका पाइथन फंक्शन होता है, मशीन लर्निंग है, तो सबसे मशीन लर्निंग हमारा प्रॉब्लम एक सिंपल से पाइथन फंक्शन से सॉल्व हो रहा है बिना मशीन लर्निंग के। फॉर एग्जांपल अगर ओवरऑल प्लान है कि मुझे आफ्टर एवरेज टेंपरेचर चाहिए, मुझे मशीन लर्निंग लगाने की कोई जरूरत नहीं है, मैं सिंपल एवरेज के फंक्शन से कर सकता हूं। बट लेट्स सी रियल प्रॉब्लम्स बहुत ज्यादा डिफिकल्ट होती हैं, रियल वर्ल्ड डेटा बहुत मेसी होता है, इसीलिए डेटा साइंटिस्ट का जो काम होता है आसान नहीं होता है। यू आर वेरी गोइंग टू सी प्रॉब्लम्स जो कि एक सिंपल पाइथन फंक्शन से सॉल्व है। बट मैं बता सकता हूं मॉडलिंग मतलब ये आपको एक मॉडल बिल्ड करना है, एक मशीन मॉडल करना है। मैं इसके बारे में बात करूं, टिपिकली आप लोग यूजुअली मशीन लर्निंग मॉडल ही बिल्ड करते हो, एक ऐसा बिल्ड करते हो जो कि आप लोगों की प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करे। ये सब चीजें डिटेल सीखेंगे, साइड लर्न टेंसर पाइटॉर्च किस तरह यूज करना है, ये सीखेंगे। इसके बाद एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट स्टेप होता है मॉडल बिल्डिंग। एक बार आप मॉडल बनाओ, अच्छा परफॉर्म करे, या मॉडल बिल्ड करते हो, और इससे बहुत सारी मैथमेटिक्स इस्तेमाल किया जाता है। इसलिए क्या होता है, एक्यूरेसी होता है, रूट मीन स्क्वायर क्या होता है, आरसी क्या होता है, ये सब जानना इसलिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। सारी स्टेप्स मॉडल बिल्डिंग इसके बाद स्टेप डिप्लॉयमेंट। एक बार मॉडल बन गया, आप लोग उसको कहीं ना कहीं डिप्लॉय करना होगा ताकि हर कोई उसको इस्तेमाल कर सके। हो सकता है कि आपके प्रोजेक्ट मॉडल को ऐसा स्पेसिफिक करिए कि कोड ही नहीं करिए, और ऐसा आपको जीवन बनाना होगा या फिर इंटरफेस बनाना होगा, इसलिए यूज करना है। सारा होता है डिप्लॉयमेंट के अंदर। इसलिए हम लोग यूज करते हैं फैक्टर्स लाइक क्लास फास्ट एपीआई रिएक्ट का इस्तेमाल करके टू बिल्ड डैशबोर्ड्स। इसके बाद अगली स्टेप होती है कम्युनिकेशन एंड नेटवर्किंग। इसमें यूजुअली हम लोग डैशबोर्ड्स बनाते हैं, कस्टमाइज करते हैं एंड ओवरऑल प्रोसेस रिजल्ट्स को डॉक्यूमेंट करते हैं। इसके बाद स्टेप मेंटेनेंस एंड इंटीग्रेशन। एक बार मॉडल बन गया तो फाइनल सोल्यूशन बन गया, एक आपका मॉडल डिप्लॉयमेंट में चला गया, उसके बाद फीडबैक मिलेगा, और उस फीडबैक के साथ आप अपने मॉडल को इम्प्रूव करोगे कि और भी बेटर हो सके। आप मॉडल में अपडेट करता जाएगा और जो साइन वो सब करता जाएगा, वो उसी मॉडल के पास करता है। तो ओवरऑल स्टेप आप अपने मॉडल को आप इटरेट करते हैं, क्या चीजें बेहतर की जा सकती है। ये डेटा साइंस की मैं आपको सिखा रही हूं, डॉक्यूमेंट किया होगी, जो कि आप डाउनलोड कर सकते हैं इस हैंड को। बट चीजों को समझने में भी ध्यान दो, बहुत ध्यान दो कि वो आप लोगों के लिए रिजॉल्व करना है। और आने वाली वीडियोस में मैं जैसे आपको बताऊंगा, आपको कोशिश करना है यार हैंड्स ऑन चीजों को मेरे साथ करो, चीजों को याद करने पर ज्यादा फोकस मत करो और ना ही नोट्स लेने पर ज्यादा फोकस करो, क्योंकि वो चीज मैंने आप लोगों के लिए रिजॉल्व कर दी है। आई होप आप लोगों को इस कोर्स में मजा आ रहा है। सी यू इन द नेक्स्ट वीडियो। आज बात करेंगे उन टूल्स की जो कि एज अ डेटा साइंटिस्ट आप लोग यूज करोगे। अब बहुत सारी चीजें होती हैं। एक चीज होती है कि आपकी चॉइस क्या है, यार मुझे तो ये पसंद है, मुझे ये वाली आईडी ही पसंद है, मैं ऐसे कोड लिखना चाहता हूं। और एक होता है सही तरीका, और वो सही तरीका इसलिए होता है
Sorry, fine. अरे यार इसमें तो वो एक्चुअली डालना पड़ेगा।
Element into the hierarchy window. The button element will appear centered and stretched across the screen in the viewport. Apply styling to position and format button. With the Restart button still selected, use the fold-out triangle to expand the inline styles section in the inspector window. Use the fold-out triangle to expand the align section, then set the align self property to center. Use the fold-out triangle to expand the position, set the position mode property to absolute, change the top offset of key X to %, then set the top offset value to 50%. This will position the top of the button 50% down the screen. Adjust the font size and color properties under the text section and the color property under the background section as you like to make the button more readable. Tip. Select Fit Viewport in the top bar of View Builder window. It'll preview the layout. If else, your Restart button will now be styled and centered. 7. Hide the Restart button at start. The Restart button is now part of the UI, but it shouldn't be visible until the player game object explodes. In this step, you'll reference the button in your script and hide it at the start of the game by changing its display style in code. 7. Hide the Restart button at start. 1. Add a variable for the button. In your player controller script, add the following line of code with your other UI.
हाँ आ रहा हूँ। करना पड़ेगा। Okay, going to start it now. Going to open the script. I'm going to open now. Like controller script. Then I will make the essential changes that I have to require to change. Okay. Microsoft Visual Studio is opening now. 2026 latest edition. It's updated already. I think so. Yeah. That's very cool. Everything is written here. Restart button. Okay. Button. Okay. Fine. Let's save it. Oh, okay. Restart button. Fine. Then one more line. Restart button style display. Go to send it. Okay. Now I'm going to run it. It's taking time. I think I have to stop so I can. We're going to run it. I think. Now you can see here it's running properly. And when it. Okay, it's not assigned. Yeah. Fine. I'm going to stop it now. Okay. I have some error here. Give it the restart button. The element is EU, button restart. This is okay, fine. Explanation. Restart button style, zero display, display on, but I think it's not coming. It's not coming. Okay. Explosion effect on not defined there. Where is the explosion effect? Yeah, if I already know. Void start, void move player. Okay, yeah. This is in public class and this is okay, now fine. Not right. Now it will resolve it, okay? Run it. Fine. I think it will take time again. Now next I go to show the restart button on collision. Okay, going to for showing it, what I will do, just play it first. Okay.
8. Show the restart button on collision. Now that your restart button is connected and hidden at the start, it's time to reveal it when the player is destroyed. You'll do this by updating its display style inside the same method that handles collisions, right after playing the explosion effect.
Okay, fine. Going to do it. Open the script now. Restart button style dot display. Copy it. Show the button in the on collision 2D method just after the collision is initiated. Okay. Just after, not destroy game object. Before destroying and just after initiate, just restart button style dot display display style flex dot flex.
Restart the game with a bang. In this tutorial, show the button in OnCollision Enter 2D inside the OnCollision Enter 2D explanation display style. Flex makes the button visible and allows it to occupy space in the UI layout. The word flex comes from Flexbox Layout, a system used in UI Toolkit and CSS, where elements are laid out in a flexible row or column, so display style. Flex simply means display
No.
this element using standard flexible layout behavior. 2. Save and test. Save your script and enter play mode in Unity. The restart button will now appear with the explosion effect. Reload scene on click. Now that your restart button appears on game over, it's time
It's
to make
time
it
to make it
functional.
functional. Okay.
In this step, you'll write a method that reloads the current scene and hook it up to the button's click event so players can start fresh with a single click of the button. 1. Create a method to reload the scene. In your player controller script, add the following method inside your class before the final closing curly brace. Explanation. This is your first time writing a custom function. A block of code.
Okay, I will write it. Okay. Save it.
Code that runs only when it's called. The keyword void means the function doesn't return a value, it just performs an action. If that's confusing, don't worry. You'll learn more about return types later. For now, just know that void is what you use when you're not expecting any data output. The name reload scene is something you choose. You can name it anything, but clear names help others, and future you understand what it does. Inside the function, you're calling Unity's built-in scene load command, using the current scene's name to reload it. 2. Add the scene manager library if needed. If Scene Manager is underlined or causes an error, add the following line of code to the top of your script. Tip: some IDEs, like Visual Studio or Writer, may add this automatically as you type the code. You can also hover over the red underline and use a suggested import to resolve it. 3. Register the button's click event. In your Start method, after assigning Restart button, add the following line of code. Explanation: this connects
Okay, assigning it. I will just restart button click, reload screen. Again, the issue is there. The reload screen is not here, refined here. No, it's refined inside. I think reload screen. Where is the reload screen?
connects the button's clicked event to your reload scene method, so the scene reloads when the player selects the restart button. The plus equal to symbol is the same one you used earlier to increment elapsed time. Here it means add this method to the list of things that happen when the restart button is selected. You're not adding numbers, you're adding functionality. After this step, selecting the restart button will reset the game and return everything to its initial state, completing the core game loop. 10. Final script sample. If you have any errors in your code or you just want to make sure your script matches exactly what has been taught up to this point, feel free to reference or copy the final code sample below. Playercontroller.cs. Optional. More things to try. Try these optional activities to challenge yourself, build your skills, and improve your project. Each challenge is tagged as easy, medium, or expert difficulty so that you know what to expect. You can complete one, all, or none of them. It's totally up to you. If you're not interested in doing these challenges, mark this step as complete and proceed to the next tutorial. Easy. Create a UI Builder layout preset. Switching back and forth between the UI Builder window and Game View can get a little tedious. Try creating a custom editor layout just for UI editing. Open the UI Builder window and arrange it to take up one side of your screen in the Unity editor. Keep the game view visible somewhere on the other side. When you're happy with the layout, go to the upper right corner of the editor, open the Layout dropdown, and select Save Layout. Expert. Add impact effects when obstacles collide. Make your game feel more reactive by spawning small bursts of particles every time obstacles bounce off walls. Create a small impact particle effect prefab, similar to your explosion but scaled down. In your obstacle script, use onCollision enter 2D to instantiate the small impact particle effect prefab at the collision point. Tip: you can even scale the effect based on rnb.linearvelocity.magnitude to make bigger impacts for stronger impacts. To avoid spawning two particle effects for every collision, you could further optimize this by comparing the two colliding obstacles' linear velocity and only spawning the particle effect for the faster moving one. Expert. Show the high score on Game Over. Combine your score system with player prefs to display the player's best score ever. Store the high score in player prefs if it doesn't already exist. When the game ends, compare the current score with the saved one. Update the saved high score if needed. Add a new UI label to display the high score along with the current score. Note: you'll likely need to do some online research and consult the Unity manual for player prefs to achieve this. Tip: want to challenge yourself? Use UI Toolkit animation to make the high score fade in or flash if it gets beaten. 12. Next steps. In this tutorial, you added an explosion effect. Create a small impact particle effect.
Okay, fine. I have completed it.
Obstacle script. Use onCollision enter 2D.
Fine. It's okay. Now going to optional bonus feature. I did this one. Okay. I completed till restart the game with a bang. So I think I should stop here today. From tomorrow I will continue it. Okay. Thank you so much for watching it. But some time is remaining, so what I will do, I will learn something. Okay. Okay. Fine. Optional bonus feature is remaining. Some exercise is there, quiz is there, then planning a game, then audio, then visual effects, user interface, animations, servers and materials, lightning, iterate on your game, prepare for certification and publishing, and pathway completion details, then is fine. So this is our course that I have to do. Okay, by today. And if it remains, then tomorrow also. Fine. So it's time to stop the video now, I think. It's already, if you go to detail, 110, and this is also 226. That's cool. Okay. So for some time, what I can do, I will learn something. Okay, some Salesforce or something I will learn here. And other thing I can do, go here and search some course on the Udemy, search some Unity course. That will be very cool. Okay, if I do something. Okay, fundamental of Unity, step by step, ultimate guide to VR with Unity, no correlation, game development, 139, 4.5, 8 hours, 188 lecture. Okay, what's this? Okay, Unity on geometry, no code, teleport, locomotion. This is a good course. This is really a good course. I can do this. The game is also like Geometry Hunt, and this is also a great course. Okay. And nested mango is also great course. Fun like a meta movement SDK. Okay. Although version, sure. This is also great course. I can do it later. And one more. Yeah, multiplayer. Yeah. This is a very important course that I can do for the Unity. Fine. This is also a great course. This is also great course. This also 7 to MR, no? Build your MR and publishing. This is our okay, fine. I have made the playlist and now I can go through it one by one. That will be very good. If you go to Udemy, then you can see their courses and my learning. Here you can see all the courses. Ultimate Guide to VR with Unity Edition. Build your MR and publish in and learn VR development. And I will do this course. This is very important. And that's all. After finishing the Unity program, then I will do it and some other time. And if you go here, learning.com. Yeah. If you go through it, here you can go and one more thing you can do, go to Coursera as well and search it out. A course is available. Unity, Meta, VR, something like this. Right. Game design and development. Michigan State University. Unity 2022, by example, mastering UI development with Unity and game design development with Unity specialization. Okay. This is great course. This you can do. Meta React, Meta Database Engineer. This is a Metabase courses. Unity game development is also good. I think this course is much good because it's for this Michigan State University. This is very great university. You can see the QS ranking of Michigan State University. And then you can see here 161st globally. That's very huge rating. And you compare, if I do Delhi, you can see. Okay, 118. That's very great. Only this can compete with this. That's very good. So this is very good, great university, and you can enroll this course and do the courses here. Game design development, 2D, 3D, and capstone. You will create an original game from, and you can do it. Okay, this is very great course. Enroll it and organization. Program joined 1 May 2026. And you can go through it one by one. Beginner have 2 months to complete flexible schedule, and this is great course. Cerebral certificate dot in English. Okay. Specialization certificate is there, and you can complete it in your pace. Okay, that will be very great if you can finish it. Diagnosing you. If you want to here, go to Coursera again. To this one. Open the Coursera. Open it. Okay, fine. I will continue it. It will be better to finish this and finish some courses and then 2023 essential training. 2023 and prepare for Unity certification. Refresh the free games. Introduction to Unity. Introduction to Material. Unity 3D. Introduction to ODN. Lighting in Unity. Everything you can do on your best you can do, and do your work as much as you can. Okay, this is very great. Okay. Okay, now it's time to continue to study now. I think so.
Optional bonus features. Take your project to the next level with optional bonus features. Resources. 1. Overview. In this optional tutorial, you'll find a collection of bonus features you can add to your 2D sprite flight project. These features are your opportunity to personalize your game, explore new creative directions, and push your Unity skills further. The features below are grouped in an order that will polishing your game, from conceptual changes to visual polish, difficulty balancing, and platform support. You can see most of the features below highlighted in the demo version of the game on Unity Play. You can also watch this video showcasing that demo game. You can choose to add none, some, or all of these features, or even come up with 1 times. You can choose to add none, some, or all of these features, or even come up with completely new ideas of your own. If you like your game just the way it is and don't want to add anything else, just scroll down to the bottom of this tutorial, mark as complete, and move on to the final tutorial where to build and share your game. Bonus feature list. Change the entire game concept. Swap out the sprites. Create a cohesive color scheme. Increase difficulty over time. Destroy the borders on game over. Add sound effects and background music. Add ambient background particles, and make booster graphic audio. Make your game compatible with mobile. Note, these steps won't include the same level of step-by-step guidance or screenshots as earlier tutorials. They're meant to be more open-ended and challenging. Don't be afraid to do some research, revisit earlier tutorials, or use an LLM like ChatGPT to help figure things out. For example, try pasting in your script and asking how to implement a new feature. At this point, you've built a solid game system, a player-controlled, triangle-shaped ship that must dodge flying mobile. Whether you added all of these bonus features or only a few, you're now ready to move on to the final tutorial, where you'll publish your game. 2. Change your entire game concept. The features below are grouped in order that reflects how you might logically approach expanding or polishing a game. At this point, you've built a solid game system, a player-controlled triangle-shaped ship that must dodge flying asteroid-type obstacles. But what if your game was about something totally different? Next steps. By changing just the visuals and theme, you can completely transform your identity. Since your characters and obstacles are made from simple shapes, it's easy to reimagine them as something new. A mouse escaping hungry cats, an alien dodging meteors, or even a pizza slice flying through space. This kind of reskinning is common in game development and is a fun way to stretch your creativity. 1. Think of a new theme. Is your game still happening in space? Or is it now on land, in water, or underground? Who is the player, and what are they escaping from? 2. Update your game objects using simple 2D shapes. Just like you did with your ship, use child game objects and scale rotate 2D primitives like triangles, rectangles, capsules, or hexagons to create your new character or obstacles. Group them under a parent game object to retain their behavior. Note, you might need to remove, replace, or adjust the colliders based on the new shapes. Tip, you don't have to change any code for this step, but it might inspire future changes. A fresh theme could lead to new gameplay ideas, visuals, or sound effects. Your game is currently built using Unity's default shapes, and that's a great way to prototype. But now that you have a full game loop, it's a good time to replace those shapes with custom sprites or artwork. Whether you create your own or use free or paid assets, swapping visuals is an easy way to make your game feel more polished and original. 3. Swap out your sprites. Add sound effects and background music. 1. Find or create new sprites. You can create your own sprites in a tool like Photoshop, Asaprite, or even MS Paint. You can also browse free asset sites like the following: the Unity Asset Store, opengameart.org, kenny.nl. 2. Add new sprites as child game objects. In the hierarchy window, select the player, obstacle, or borders game object you want to reskin. Tip: if you want to add a custom background, add a new square sprite and set its order in layer property to a negative number. This will make sure it appears behind the other sprites.
Okay, I will do it one by one. in the next tomorrow video. Okay, thank you so much for watching it. This time already up. Okay, thank you.